Hello and welcome to Meridian Falls. No, Meridian Fall. The Meridian Fall D&D campaign. We are short a player or two, which is going to make this an interesting session. We're still short Oris. He was missing last week, and he's going to be missing again this week, and is almost 100% guaranteed to be back next week. We'll see. Maybe a meteor doesn't just fall on his character in game. Maybe it happens to him in real life. We'll see what happens. And we are waiting for one of our players to make it into chat as well. So the other two players can introduce themselves while we wait. First up, we have Blanford.
Hello. I'm Blanford. I guess they caught me. I am Zazie also. Okay. So I'm the bard who was hired to keep the party safe back when we were part of the military. Since we've abandoned the military and fully crossed over to the other side, this puts me in a very interesting situation, and I'm this is very interesting. I'm still keeping track of them and keeping them safe, but wow, this is fully interesting. What am I doing?
Okay, and our other player, Fjorn.
This is Burke. I play Fjorn Ledrock, the Barbarian.
Excellent. And then we're still waiting on Ray. I don't know if one of you wants to poke him. I'm imagining he's having tech problems. That's usually the situation. But in the meantime, we're just gonna kind of kill some time, and I will kind of recap what we did last episode. Last episode was the first time the cast had been in town for a very long time. They met a new town. Some things went a little awry, but that's okay because they have Clementine, their social outcast that's trying to use them to... Basically, she's like an intern where like she just needs she's willing to work for free as long as she gets the like clout out of the situation, which is kind of her character. Got them in an inn, got them healed up with a long rest, and is kind of managing their quests and opportunities at the moment. She's handling the person-to-person interactions, which is actually kind of a good thing for the party because although it hasn't really been explored yet, the Black Fang had mentioned that when they arrive in civilized society in the elf nation, that the fact that they were traitors from their previous military is gonna mark them as a term called mange whelps. So far, we haven't seen anybody reacting to that yet, but that may come up in this session. We'll see. It's interesting how that works exactly, and it's been complained to me a few times by our elven player that he didn't leave an army, so why is he lumped in? And that might get explained a little bit more as things progress. It also partly explains why the Black Fang is kind of a dick and doesn't do things for free and help you guys willy-nilly, because there's like a fine line in some kind of honor system where if he was to do too much for you guys for free, that he would probably be marred in some way as well. Or possibly he's protecting you guys and your mange whelp status would degrade into an even worse status, and maybe he's trying to... It's hard to say. All we're saying is society and culture in this newfound world is a bit of an unknown, and we're slowly learning about it. Another interesting tidbit that I like to keep throwing out but no one has really questioned is that May's character gets referred to, people like to call her my child. They say the term my child to her. When referring to her, that's something the Black Fang used to do and something that Clementine even said. But they have yet said, no one says that to Rim. So if the assumption is, they just say that because they're a younger elf, then the question is, why is it only May that's being called my child and not both of them, because they're
My,
both.
I have a theory about this.
Okay, go ahead. It may very well. A lot of the time, you guys throw out theories on stuff, and I'm sitting here looking at what I wrote down, and I'm like, damn, it's not as good as that. But
My theory is that Rim spent significant time in the Shadowfell and was possibly harmed by hags, and so he's no longer a child.
It could be. It could definitely be that his mind is somehow matured because of the harm he took. And May is this, like, innocent character. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to just throw him a poke. I figure you guys have... Did either of you...
I did.
You did? Alright, I'll let him be then. It's too bad. He's taking his sweet time. Well...
We'll leave May at the end to solve because...
Yeah, since a lot of what we're doing is going to be kind of based around downtime almost in a sense, I am going to just kind of move forward without her character. From what we remember, I believe...
Go read her book.
Yeah, exactly. So May went to the Temple of Ava where she got her cursed dagger removed from her hand. And then she went to the library. So we'll deal with her at the library shortly whenever May shows up. But in the meantime, the two of you have done some stuff. The first thing what Blanford did was he went to the Shrine of Saloon where he was given some information on potential quest line. I don't know if you guys remember. Recap was that there are people in town that have like gray skin. They're just known as the gray folk. And they have no idea what's going on with this disease. It has no other symptoms. It doesn't spread like conventional diseases. Like being near them doesn't necessarily make you infected. But the number of people infected in town is slowly growing over time. And they're concerned, but they don't quite understand what it is. So they just kind of asked, I guess Blanford would have to explain to everybody when they get together. But the idea was, if you can help us figure out what's going on, get us information, we might be able to reward you in some other fashion. And then secondly, on top of that, when you were outside of the shrine, you learned that there were owlbears. And they have a few owlbears that are tamed and trained for ceremony. And there's basically a stable set up for them behind this shrine. It's arguably larger than the shrine itself. Because owlbears are very big. So the stabling for an owlbear, even only a few, would be much larger than the stabling for horses, for example. Also, before I let anybody take control and tell me what they want to do, recapping what Fjorn was doing, he took Rim, and the two of you went to see the academy, where you learned that there are soldiers being trained at all times. It's possible for you guys to potentially pick up a young level 1 apprentice character if you want, but then you have to consider all the costs associated with having an additional character. It's not like a freebie. Oh, suddenly you have 2 characters. Well, the more often you bring 2 characters to do quests and such instead of just one, not only do you have to worry about them all, like, as a DM, I have to award both characters some magical items, so you're going to be unknowingly divvying up the magical items that you receive, as well as generally experience as well. There's a small chance that if Rim arrives for too many boss fights, that May will be behind gaining level 6. So, I mean, it's something to consider when you add extra characters. These are all rules already
baked in.
They already that's already how experience works. If you read through the I think it's in Player's Handbook as well as in the DM's Guide. The idea is that you're splitting up experience points, but we're milestoning it, so I have to kind of get creative. But it'll be around the same idea that if you're splitting up experience and playing multiple characters, it's the same as if there was other players around as well. So we'll see how that goes. You also learn that you could leave Rim there, but that's more for Ezekiel to make decisions about. But you could leave Rim or one of your apprentices at the academy until they gain a level or 2, so that
they're functional.
Yeah, exactly. Because level 1, they're probably gonna die, especially when they're doing level 5 stuff. But getting them up to, I think I capped it at level 3. Soft capped it. It'll take Well,
So
okay,
they're
sorry.
functional.
I guess they can keep leveling, but it really extends the amount of time. Like, if you want a level 4 character, it's going to take so long that your main characters will outlevel them. Like, it probably won't be
Gotcha.
worth it. So,
Okay.
the main idea is to get them from level 1 to level 2, because level 1 characters are just asking to get killed or one-shot by just about everything in the world that you guys are encountering. But a level 2 to 3 character, if they stay out of the way and don't do anything too aggressive, they'll probably be able to survive for a bit. But I mean, there's always a chance they die, which is always kind of a fun little wrinkle in Dungeons and Dragons. You never know when someone's going to die, which is why it's nice to have an apprentice character maybe sitting in the academy in case your main character bites the big one. And then if that does happen, what you can end up doing is switching to your apprentice, and then a quest line could be created to revive the main character. Potentially, so you might lose. Let's say Fjorn dies. He's a zealot though that's supposed to be able to resurrect. So it would make sense that the rest of the party would be able to potentially save him, and then there'd just be some placeholder character to, fun stuff, right? I really thought I would have killed enough time for May to show up by now, but that's okay. So I'm gonna let. Since I feel like there's less to do at the academy, I'm going to let Fjorn, you kind of explain to me what you want to do there, if anything.
Well, I was going to see, I thought about apprentice, but I'm not real sure about that yet.
Yeah, don't feel pressured into having to have one.
But I was thinking of, is there asking them offer them my services to maybe help train on my off time?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that's definitely something you can do. You mentioned to them that you're a warrior, and they see it immediately by your physique that you would have some skills in martial combat, and they're definitely interested in having guest speakers and that kind of thing. So we can work out exactly the downtime requirements, but there are basic rules for downtime work as it is. So, you'll be able to... It's not going to be as much gold as if you were questing or whatever, but if everybody else is like, I want to read in the library for a day, well, you can go to the academy and earn yourself probably somewhere between like a gold and 10 gold for a day's work. I forget the exact numbers. I'll have to look it up, and then I'll modify them a little bit due to your skill level and what they're willing to pay.
Okay.
I would like to just since everyone's decided to, I'm going to recount about these the quest line about the gray skinned people.
Sure. So you're going to go back to the people, instead of being distracted by the sweet owl bears, you're going to go back into the shrine and speak with them about the gray folk. Okay, awesome.
So I'm going to tell the party about it first.
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to let them know.
Okay.
Let them do whatever they want. By the time I go back to the temple, and the owl bears are so cool, and I will get to them. But the gray skinned folk are more interesting at the moment.
Yes. So mostly you're learning, like there's just like no information on this problem, which is what you're learning. So basically they're saying, hey, if you can find some information for us, let us know what's up.
Like there's, you don't know, it's not even like a distribution of rich people or poor people or what people eat. You don't have anything at all.
Yeah, they don't know it at all. You're gonna have to.
Oh boy! I
mean, I guess I could hint to you what I kind of expect you guys to do to figure this out, but I mean, it's possible that you guys think of a different way to discover this information, and I will sprinkle it in. Basically, I have like this is a little meta, but I have tidbits of information that will slowly be released to you to help you figure out this.
Okay.
Thing.
So I'm going to go on a walkabout through the city and see if I can find information. Well, first I'm going to look for someone with gray skin and go to their home and interview them. I assume I have to roll something. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, sure. So first thing you're gonna do is your walkabout. So I'm gonna put your character kind of doing that. you're busy strolling through town, kind of gathering some information and trying to find people with gray skin. I just want to make sure that Fjorn is doing what Fjorn... you were just asking about what you could do. I don't think you were necessarily deciding to spend the whole day there.
Yeah, I didn't know which direction we was going to take, so...
It's really tough with only the two of you. I mean...
Sorry.
So, I mean, it's you guys could meet up and maybe do it together, or you could... Man, it's really tough to do this with May missing. I was not expecting to be missing a character as well. That's kind of...
Let's just say I go ahead and find out the information that, I'm able to give them my assistance, and as I leave the academy and bump into Blanford or something, and he tells me about it, maybe.
For sure. Sounds good. Actually, I'm going to give you a little something cool, actually, while we're doing all this. Before you guys take off to the Grey Folk, I'm going to give you one more cool thing. After you talk to the academy and you start leaving, and Rim, we'll just say Rim stays there. Why not? We'll figure out what's going on with Rim later. And you're on your way to meet up with Blanford again. As soon as you guys see each other, you feel this like weird feeling in your brain, Fjorn. You're like, what? It's like familiar, but you've never felt it before. You just kind of it's like this weird twinge in your mind, kind of imploring you to rub the coin that's in your pocket.
Okay, so I guess I'll rub the coin in my pocket.
And immediately you get into a connection with Whimsy. That you've never really felt being on the receiving end because you're always the one calling her, but that's what mentally it feels like to have Whimsy reach out to you and ask for your, to communicate with her. And so I will try my best to be Whimsy. Give me a second. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys... how much of last Wednesday's episode that you guys witnessed, but a large...
I witnessed about half of it, but I had to go away to pick up some stuff, and when I got back, I heard something about rendering a star creature into lard, and I was like, okay, what did I miss?
I don't know what that was. They were just making up nonsense. Basically, okay. Basically what happened was I told them that they had this job to rob somebody, but then when they what I had planned in my mind was they were going to arrive, and in their attempt to rob them, they would offer to help instead. And then so they had it took them quite a long time to plan how to get in and what they were going to do, and then when they got in, they bumbled around, and the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, no, you're just supposed to talk to her and then realize you can betray your boss, the criminal. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess. But basically, they met a character who works for the Highmark Guild named Tallow Galeside. And you guys also remember that Whimsy's last name is Galeside as well. Also, in that episode, Tallow gave one of them a coin with a symbol on it, blah, blah, blah. And you guys are quite familiar with what that possibly does. And that they have no idea, right? Because they haven't been watching your guys' episodes. But I keep hinting to them. I'm like, you guys can talk with them if you want and maybe get a little meta information to help you kind of understand what's going on. Your characters obviously don't know it, but it might help the players. Because technically it's free information. They can go and watch those episodes. I can't stop them. So it is available to them. Anyways... So you know that there's some kind of relationship. Your characters don't know. You're not aware of it. But your player, as human beings, as the story unfolds, clearly there's some family relation between Tallow and Whimsy. And also you could probably go so far as to make the connection that maybe she is part of the Highmark Guild as well. Anyways, all that aside, Whimsy contacts you, Fjorn. And she says, "Oh, Fjorn, it's been a little while, a day or so."
Yeah, I'm not used to getting called by you.
Oh, my apologies. I know it's kind of a weird feeling, but I figured I owed you one from all the times you've called me. I guess they wouldn't say call because they don't know what a telephone is. Whatever, they've said it. I'm not gonna... Somehow she calls it that. So Whimsy, I just wanted to let you know.
Voice chat.
Yeah, it's just a little voice over IP, okay? Don't worry about it. I just wanted to ring you on your Discord real quick. No need to be worried, but I just wanted to let you know. I know you guys are north in the Elven lands. The military force here is swelled, and we'll be pushing further north very soon. I just thought you should be aware. Also, you might find me less capable of helping because they're forcing me along as well. So, who knows? Maybe I'll see you in person again soon.
Say they're forcing you?
I mean, well, we are all conscripts after all. They've asked me to help them. Or should I say, the newly appointed master of the magical arts has requested me to assist and come with. I just wanted you to know, in case you guys don't get caught with your pants down.
Right. Well, I appreciate the warning.
Yes. Yes, and since I'll be without my regular books and accoutrement, I might have trouble. I can only help you with what I know. I won't have access to my home, essentially. Yes. Yes, I just wanted you to know that.
Well, I guess let us know if there's any way we can assist you, I guess.
Oh yes. I mean, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But if you happened to stop the advancing army some way, and then I could go. I mean, forget I've said anything.
I get the idea.
She kind of, you kind of hear her hear feet shuffling and stuff in your mind somehow. Okay, that's all I needed to let you know. I hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, I'm having a great day.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. And then, her mic turns off.
I tell Blandford what went on because that way he knows and can help me remember.
That's very helpful. I just wish that I could have gotten a chance to talk to her. She seems very interesting.
You know, bound by blood, you might be limited to who can speak.
I'm aware of this. At some point, I'm going to pickpocket that coin and try and rub it and see and make it work, and it won't work, I'm sure.
Probably not. I mean, you don't know for sure.
Because I want to tell her things, but they're not going to work. That's the point. Because I want to pass in for since I've been told now that there's military force coming and there are new players involved, more magical stuff. There are things we could tell her in particular, to look out for.
Hey, it looks like May's almost back. Awesome. Okay.
But while we're at, but we can't do that. So let's get walking around and keep looking. Let's keep an eye on where our old inn is. Let's keep that roof in eye shot, and keep wandering around. And we'll keep looking for gray-skinned people and try and ask them questions.
Okay. You guys, since there's two of you now, I'll let whichever one you want roll investigation with advantage, because the other one will be helping.
That's a decent enough number. 14.
14 with advantage? Alright, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm not quite sure why things aren't showing up
It's not a good number, but it's a number.
Is it possible that you just need to turn the extension on within Roll20? I found that was my issue, is that I had the extension on in D&D Beyond, but then I didn't have it on in Roll20. And so when I was clicking stuff, it was rolling on my end, but not going through. Anyways, a 14 is good. Yeah, as you guys are wandering around, a library attacks May, and she dies a merciless death, and she's bleeding out in the library, and, well, we'll just have to tell her actor when he arrives that she's dead.
Okay, cool. Well, we didn't witness this, so...
No, yeah, you guys don't know about that. Okay, so yeah, as you're wandering through town and working together, this time no one's, putting on a weird face and ducking off into an alleyway. Yeah, you guys were able to, at first you think you find someone with a gray face, and when you approach them, you begin to say hi, and then you realize that they're just like a regular elf. You're like, oh, I'm just not that comfortable with the way elves look yet. And they say, oh yeah, I've heard about the gray folk. Not me though. I'm fine. And then you carry on for a little bit, and then you find you actually find a couple. You find a man and a woman who appear to be like on a date or just together, enjoying the warm. You know what? I don't know if I ever said what season is. I'm gonna say it's spring, guys. Which means that you're going to be going into like a very hot, warm summer. Oh, I also wanted to mention that as much as you guys have had clear skies for the last while, there was a day or so where it rained while you were in the temples. So when you came out to do like your long rest or whatever, while you were doing that temple, because you guys were there for a few days, one of the times you went out and the floor and the ground was wet because it had rained. But luckily for you guys, it never rained during the night, because you guys don't actually have, a great setup for... Yeah, no one learned Leoman's tiny hut or whatever it's called. So
I thought about it.
You guys... Yeah, who knows? Maybe our wizard will find that spell in the library. You never know. But yes, you find this couple, and you notice they have like a gray skin to them, but they're having a jovial day in the warm spring air. And you you stop to speak with them, and they say, yes, we have been afflicted by the gray folk, illness, but honestly, it hasn't changed their lives at all. They let you know. So I wasn't sure what your plan was, if you wanted to investigate their home or...
I wanted to ask them, like, so it's not like a painful skin, it's not painful, it's not sensitive to sunlight, or it's not sensitive to cold, or it's not sensitive, there's no sensitivity to anything at all.
No. In fact, they have a child, and that child is not afflicted. And they all live in the same house, so if we're used to, COVID rules, you're kind of like, that's interesting.
Well, I was thinking of a possibility.
But yeah, they have no other symptoms. They said that no, there's no pain. They wouldn't even be aware of it if they didn't look in the mirror or see each other and tell each other about it.
Okay, this is actually very...
You do learn that the husband had it first. And he had it for about 2 weeks or so, and then she contracted it. And they're not sure how or why that happened, or the way that it works. But it is interesting, because then that might make you think, oh, it must spread because they were close to one another. But then, why doesn't their child have it? So, yeah, it's an interesting
STD.
one.
So, could I ask them if they've been anywhere that they didn't take their child with them?
They're out today. Their child is in school right now. They spend time away from... Did I say it was a son? I'm going to say it's a son. Their son. And it hasn't... You're probably asking about places like outside the city, or anywhere like eccentric within the city, and they don't have any.
Like, do they work out? Does he work at a sewage treatment facility?
He says no.
I'm not asking that question, but like, does he work in a place that is likely to get infected?
He works he works at the Gamma Tech lab, and he got hit with radioactive waves.
But I'm assuming you're not. It's not like something foolish like that. Like you're.
No, he works administratively in the town center, so he's like a low political person who just does like administrative stuff for the upper politics of the city, and then his wife does not work because they do well enough because of that job.
Okay, good to know.
I hear you guys typing, so clearly you guys are like, we gotta be detectives. Gotta figure this out, guys. Hello, welcome.
Hey.
May, if you want to just introduce yourself real quick.
We left you in the inn, and we're well away from there.
Well,
so
actually, he's in the library, or she is in the library. But yeah,
I figured. Oh, she's probably just in the library. She's taking. She lost herself in the library.
That's okay. We haven't done too much. We've just mostly talked over some things, which you may have to go back and listen to if you want to get caught up on that stuff. Right now, they're working on the Grey Folk that Blanford learned about at the temple, the shrine to Saloon.
Sickness or something?
Yeah, it's some kind of disease or sickness. They're trying to find information on it. So right now they're speaking to a couple that have this affliction. So we'll come back to, if you don't mind, we'll come back to what May's doing in a minute, and we'll just let them finish up their questioning.
Yeah, no problem. You guys can just meet up with her or whatever afterwards. You can tell me about it.
All right. Does this skin condition cause any social unease?
No. Strangely, no one seems to really care. Luckily, there's a level of apathy towards it. I hope I'm using the right word. Apathy means you don't care about it. Yeah.
Oh boy, okay.
So like people don't really seem to notice it, and a lot of people just think it's you got a sunburn that doesn't go away, and whatever, it doesn't harm you, so who cares? And most people don't think about it too much. They don't even seem concerned themselves. They have it, but they're not worried about it.
It doesn't hurt, and other people are like, oh, you got a sunburn.
Yeah.
So nobody. It's sub cold level of.
Yeah, they used to. It was a big deal when the first few people got it, some years ago, but now, since we've learned there's no harm to it, and even after years of having it, there's no further troubles. It usually just gets ignored.
Okay, good to know. I have a theory, but I need more evidence. It's a hypothesis, actually. Okay, I'm going to thank them for their time, and I'm going to try and find someone else. But I'm going to take a note that visit the administrative building at a later date or a later time.
That's not a bad idea. If just to catch May up there, that's because that's where he said he worked. He works as a low-level, like secretarial or what did I say originally? I forget. Pencil pusher, whatever.
Yeah.
Administrative aide in the like political town hall or whatever you want to call it in the city. So that's why Blanford's coming to that conclusion. That's the only real information you got from them.
So this is just a random person that has the plague?
Yeah, so what they did was they went through the city to try to find people who were afflicted with the Grey Folk disease or whatever you want to call it. Even people have trouble labeling it. They're like, I don't know what this is. And then the first person they thought had it, but then when they mentioned, no, I don't have it. Actually, you just are kind of racist to what elves look, that Ava elves look like. I mean, they didn't say it in that form, but basically they made the mistake of thinking someone had it who actually didn't. And then the second time they met a couple who both had it, and they explained that their child does not have it, and the husband got it first, and then the wife got it about 2 weeks later, and this was some time ago, and they just live with it, and it doesn't bother them, either of them, in the slightest. So
Okay.
yeah, and also to recap, the Shrine of Saloon people, the priest there who asked you to look into this, said, all they're asking for, you don't have to cure it, you just have to find information on what this thing is and bring it back to them, and then there may be a reward related to that. They're just asking for info, because they're like, there's no info out there. We just need to know something about this. So maybe May will actually be really helpful in figuring this one out. We'll see.
So, do they travel outside the city without their child any? Or did we already ask that?
I can't really remember. They don't remember. They have no real reason to leave the city. They don't really think so. There hasn't been any... the city's large enough. It has all the amenities that they want. So no, they haven't left for vacation or to do anything major in the last while.
So it's one of two things. If it's spreading between people, it's not spreading to children.
It could be that.
Or if it's...
But but you did find that people, you asked if it had a social aspect to it, like a leprosy, or were these people being ostracized because of it? And the answer is no, because the people they work with don't necessarily contract it. People they go to parties with don't necessarily contract it.
Right. I want to know if there was a social element, and if there was I want to know. What I want to know is, does it cause physical harm or physical conditions?
Yeah, and it doesn't. It has no other symptoms other than their skin changes color.
And the second thing I want to know is, does it change how you interact with people or how people interact with you?
And the answer is no. It doesn't affect anybody in any way on a social level either. It's to the point where at first people were afraid of it, and then they realized that it was it seemed random. That's why they kind of think of it more like you got a sunburn, or it's just some people get it and some people don't, and they just kind of ignore it. The only thing of note is that they mention that they haven't heard of anybody outside the city contracting this thing. It's mostly been people here, but people don't normally leave or come back. So, but maybe you could look to speaking with someone who travels outside the city more if you wanted to learn more about that. Maybe some kind of a merchant or something like that. Or maybe there's information in the part of the city where all the information is. The DM winks and nudges his party.
I have a current theory that I'm going to post in the Discord, and you can laugh when you read it, when you take a look at it.
I don't know if you totally said them and I was just missed. Oh, good, he posted. Thank you. I was just I couldn't remember if you said all of it, and I'm still trying not to, I'm still sort of waking up. Sorry, I'm listening, but
that's okay. You know it's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend?
So the only symptom is gray skin.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very strange and benign. That's why people aren't hurry, go cure it, go figure it out. They're just it's our job to heal people, but it's we don't know if we really care, but we do care. So they just kind of want to
based on what Fallstar said in the chat. I'm not there, but you may want to see if they're. I don't know if you checked, but are they either missing their shadow or something like that, or they always have a shadow even when it's dark, or something weird?
Okay. I will track down a different elf with gray skin, because I don't want to go to the same people, because that would be weird.
You can just observe them too, I suppose.
Yes, but not and observe that.
So is that the plan? You're looking for? You're looking for someone who has gray skin, and I won't immediately have you go up and talk to them like I did. I felt bad when I made you do that. I was like,
Yes.
oh, that's not what you said.
And
Sure.
observe oddities with their shadows.
Certainly. So you find yourself actually in the market bazaar that you had been to before Fallstar. This is the first time Fjorn's been here, so if Fjorn has the need to purchase supplies or anything, this is the first time you've seen it. They have everything here. In addition to that, Clementine, you are both reminded that Clementine had mentioned the potential for more business. There being room for more businesses in this area, that it's not like completely saturated, but there aren't that many people with large sums of gold to start up stalls here. So I just mention it because I'm trying to say it in a fantasy setting, but basically you guys have the ability to potentially research and look up how to start your own business here if that's something you want. But yeah, almost anything you could ask for Fjorn is available in these markets. So while you're less interested in what Blanford is doing, maybe you want to think about what you wanted to purchase here if you wanted anything. Anyways, Blanford, sorry.
I was going to say, I was thinking about going to, because I knew that May went to the library, right?
Yes.
And the thing with Whimsy is kind of unsettling, so I was thinking about going and finding May and telling her about.
Okay, so you just kind of let Blanford know about that, and the two of you can return once you've finished eyeballing this person you found. So now that you're a little more familiar with the gray folk, you do see there's a man, and he's like purchasing some meats and stuff from one of the stalls. And you notice that he has the gray skin. And as you're watching, the person selling to him doesn't seem to care or notice that he even really has it. The people moving around him treat him just like everybody else in the crowd. And as you stare at him, he has the same like 9 a.m. shadow that everybody else has.
But it's moving. No, just kidding.
Except it immediately attacks you when we roll initiative.
But you notice it's strangling another person's shadow.
Okay, so there's no bonus shadow or weirdness in the shadow.
Well, how about roll me perception? Why not?
Okay, because that's the theory that we're.
I'm secretly hoping you roll a nat 1, and then I can tell you something insane.
Maybe also, maybe roll, if perception does or doesn't work, maybe roll like Arcana.
Okay, so you rolled a 14. Yeah, it looks like everybody else's. For like a split second, you're like, does he have a third leg or arm or something? You think there's another limb, but there was just like a bird overhead for a second, and you're like, oh. Okay, no, it's just a regular shadow.
Darn. Because I had a theory. Apparently, that's not it. It was a good idea. Do you know what it was?
Why don't you suggest it to May when everybody meets back up? Do you guys want to go back and just hang out at the library for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the library because apparently my detective skills are unrefined.
You're getting some information. It's kind of like 20 questions at the moment.
Well, actually, I'm going to see if the elves I've seen with it are all the same type of elf.
Okay, sure. The vast majority of people here, actually everybody you've seen so far, has been an elf, and you're pretty sure they've all been Ava elves. But again, your familiarity with the differences between the different elf races isn't refined.
It's thin.
The number of high elves or wood elves that you've met in your lifetime, both for Fjorn even fewer, because Blanford has a bit of a backstory. But even then, his backstory, I think, is related to other Ava elves. So the number of wood... you guys aren't even fully aware that May and Rim are two different races of elf. As far as you're concerned, you assume that they were the same.
They're cousins, obviously.
May knows the difference. May knows that she is a high elf and that Rim is a wood elf. But the rest of you, as far as you can tell, it's really difficult for you to see that difference. And even May has trouble making the distinction because, she was told these things, and a lot of the people who lived in, by the way, you were all here when I named it Boulder. I'm thinking Oris was back. He's not back. in Boulder would have been Ava elves as well, because most of them are from the north, right? But some of you are obviously different, and that might be partly why you guys are orphans. But yes, you return to the library, or go there for the first time. You see this large cathedral-like building with. There's clearly some level of respect to knowledge in their culture, because this is a very there's a lot of space around it as well. Like, they haven't just put it in the middle of like a city center. It is like got its own area of town almost, just for this grand library. And May is already in there, and she was already speaking with the librarian, and she'd even decided to look at a few books while she was waiting for you guys, but she hadn't gone into the restricted section. I shouldn't say restricted. It's the section of the library where you're not allowed to borrow books. It's not like only certain people can go in there. It's not restricted in that sense. The restriction is you just can't take the books with you, because some of them, have
like rare books and things.
Yeah, exactly. So the more like common stuff that they could easily replace if you never brought it back. You find like Go Dog Go and like Cat in a Hat, and you find.
I actually, that's funny, but I actually did want to see if I could find not necessarily a children's book, but like a simple book on Ava.
Sure, just like a religious book. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just to learn like the very most basic about like, and I think it sounds like a female name, and like about like her and what her. Sort of like what don't.
Like a children's catechism type thing.
Yeah, you find like a section that's kind of those types of. First you wander into like the children's section, and then you find the children's like Ava section, and you find books that are like, targeting the younger audience that are like. I don't know. I've seen books like this as well, where in real life, where like they do the story of Noah's Ark, but then it's like cartoony kids, and they kind of dumb down the religious part of it. You find some books like that, and you find one that piques your interest because it has a big picture of Ava on the front. She looks like she might be some kind of celestial, because she's kind of beautiful. She's wearing heavy armor, like she's. Got like Valkyrian helmet almost, if you will, with like the wings on it. She's wielding like a spear, a large spear, and they depict her with also like kind of angel wings behind. You're not 100% sure if that's, after reading some of the other books, the wings part, you're not quite sure if that is an artistic choice or if it's actually the religious belief that she has wings or not. But you do see it in this sense. I guess you could consider that akin to seeing pictures of religious people with like a halo around their heads. It's kind of you're not sure 100% if it's artistically chosen or if it's actually believed that she might be some kind of celestial with wings and whatnot. Also, you're not fully accustomed. You might not know that much about celestials because we haven't rolled anything about that to begin with. But then reading the book, it explains that like how we love Ava and she protects us and she's the best and you must pray to her and worship her if you're to be a good child. Also remember to wash your hands and eat your vegetables, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you bring it back and you've read it through once and you feel like you can absorb a little more from it, and the librarian allows you to borrow it. She like signed you up for like a library card or the equivalent. They explain that it's not actually a library. It's more like I mean I don't know how to explain this without maybe spilling some beans, but it's almost like magically tracked, where like the librarian knows if you owe books or if you borrowed them, but there doesn't seem to be any way that she's actually tracking it other than she just looks at you and nods, and she's like aware that you've borrowed this book. And you have it. She hasn't really told you a time limit. Mostly just, you can only borrow so many books. So, yeah. Okay. It's yours for now.
Ooh, that sounds like a really cool class. Librarian wizard. Or a cleric.
I mean, you could do either. Okay, I guess beyond that,
everybody's back. Is that
really?
Can we put everyone together again?
Yeah, I decided to wander over to the library at a certain point because I was like, I couldn't figure this out and figure the library was the place to go.
Yeah, May can still. If May still wants to do more librarying, I'm going to say that's a word. That's fine. I just want to put everyone together so you guys can kind of talk together and think about what you're going to plan to do. So.
Yeah, you guys can find her in the library. She's probably looking at, I don't know, Shadowfell stuff, maybe, if we have any information on that.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of stuff related to that. When you mention how limited the supply is to librarians, she says that there would probably be more of that in the restricted section.
It's not in the children's section.
Yeah, the children's section doesn't talk about the
looking in the children's section. That was just for looking about a religion, which I knew would be very complicated, and I wanted to get a really big understanding.
Yeah, exactly. You're at beginner level for understanding the Ava religion. I mean, obviously, the more you learn about Ava, you are going to get some information on the Shadowfell and the Feywild as well, because it's clearly tied in some fashion. But you did actually find in the children's book, though, it doesn't explicitly explain the Mazgate. It's mostly nice things, like almost as if they don't burden the children of their race with knowledge of the Mazgate until a little bit older.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll look for another book on Ava if I find something that's a little bit more in depth. But I guess, yeah, I guess it depends on if we're ever going to do any downtime. I'll do stuff for maybe researching a spell or spells, but
Okay.
I won't do that until we do downtime.
Well, we'll see what everybody wants to do. Now that you guys are together, you guys can kind of plan the rest of your day, what you want to do. If you guys want to take the day, one thing that Fjorn does remind May, which is that he had spoken to Whimsy, and Whimsy has mentioned that there is a military force moving against you guys. So they were stalled for a long time, and you guys have basically had all the time in the world. But she let you guys know. She actually contacted Fjorn, unlike most times when it's the other way around, and warned you guys that you guys don't have infinite time.
How far away are they?
Well, they're moving as a force through the Vinage. I mean, you're not sure. You know, bare minimum, the 3 days that it took you guys to travel, and plus from Boulder. You know, minimum. You know that for sure. You'd have to speak with Whimsy again to try to get any more information.
Okay.
On that. As you would also assume that a military force would probably take longer because they're lots of people, and they would probably be like, you know, moving a war camp forward. They can't just like travel endlessly. They have to like create supply lines and stuff. So I mean,
maximum of 2 weeks.
Who's to say? You're gonna have to speak with Whimsy to know a little bit more. It may even be she warned you guys, but they haven't even started moving yet. It could be longer, could be shorter. Maybe the mage she mentioned is like just so powerful that they are actually moving much quicker, like clearing the things, and he's like creating. You don't know how powerful this guy is. It's possible that his war machine is.
He has the create road spell. Damn. We need to maybe speak with someone in charge around here and tell them about that. I feel like even though we don't really know, I don't know if we're what the deal is here, but I feel like either way we need to warn them about an upcoming war, possibly. It doesn't seem as if they realize what's going on, is all I'm saying.
I agree, because when I mentioned that I was here, and that I was was here, warning that that there was a Mazgate cult behind the war machine, or that was pushing the war on the human side. They also there, but they recognized the term Mazgate. But I got the impression that they didn't even realize that there was a war going on. So that's an issue.
Well, the problem is that there quote unquote has been a war, there really hasn't been a war for them up here. It's just been on the border, and now is when
It's a it's a week's journey. This is not a week's journey. Is not
what I mean
anything in
for
terms.
these Ava elves and such, which they don't really communicate with
Oh,
the
that's their problem. They are. Forgive me. If you are in the business of running an empire, a week's journey through
they're not
rough terrain
run.
like we went through is not the distance that is not something that can stop a military. A military will go through that in no time. They they don't know that there's a military force coming a week out. That's something they can't. They are way too. It's way too late for them to do anything, and we need to keep going elsewhere. We are. It's too late for us to help them. We need to get elsewhere. Why?
Well, you guys are aware that Boulder was not the only border village.
Yeah.
There were others, and you could probably make the assumption that there is an equivalent of the Black Fang at them. So it's possible that news will move. You don't know how, but it's possible that they'll get a heads up on their own if you don't do anything. But
Right.
Before we say anything,
at some point, but this seems really close, so
yeah, it
before we
is.
say anything, then we should find out more from Whimsy how far they are. That'll be their first question: is how far are they? So,
yeah, we can do that. I mean, I suppose if you can do that right away, we should do that first before we go and speak with them. If we can even get an audience, I mean, that's the thing, is I don't know how who exactly we'll be able to talk to. I don't know how much bureaucracy they have. I'm not really familiar with that because I grew up in a pretty small town. We could just go talk to the leader of the village.
My suggestion. Well, I could have done something, but I made a huge blunder last night. What I would.
You peed the bed.
Yeah, I really did.
Oh, I'm sure they have some medicine to help with that.
And just as you finish that conversation, Blanford has now got gray skin. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that would actually be interesting.
Yeah, you get it from peeing the bed. That's what you. That's how you get it.
That's the first symptom. I knew it. Guys, I figured it out.
I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to go and. Are we going to go to a different tavern and start playing music for money? That's I've got.
Is that what we're doing? We're all gonna just split up again and do our own stuff?
Well,
Wait, what did you say?
You said you wanted to go make money. Keep in mind, making money by working is much less efficient than like questing or doing adventuring stuff, especially at your levels.
That has nothing to do with what we were just saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you that if your plan is to like make money to somehow stop the war effort, it does not make sense.
I'm aware of this.
Okay.
I'm aware of this.
Okay.
But I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't see a. I don't. If they can't. If they don't have. If they don't have. If they're. If they don't. If the people. If the guards don't know that the war is on their. If the guards don't know that there is a war, the best thing to do is make a bit of money and get out of town. Because this is gonna happen.
Okay.
So
you let your friends know that you have no desire to help the city in any regard.
Well, I'll do it, but I don't see a path to do it that is plausible.
I feel like we've got enough money right now. I don't think that's what we're hurting on. I think that we need to tell the people. I don't know. Fiona, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we need to contact Whimsy and let the first thing we should do, or the first thing I should do anyway, because I'm the only one that really can contact her. And then we should maybe. I was thinking if we go to the academy, there's like military there. Maybe we can kind of stir the bee's nest a little bit.
The academy? Well, I mean, is there not like some kind of public office or something? I mean, like a town center?
Well, I mean, we could find from them the officers. If there's any officers there, we can kind of find out
that
where the high-ranking military is
speak
at.
to the guard there. All right, let's do that. That's a good starting point, I guess, at least. I think as long as Lamford, I don't know which character you're playing right now. Lamford is cool coming.
Could you repeat that?
You guys are gonna go to the academy and
I'm gonna first thing
stir
I'll
the-
contact Whimsy.
Okay. Let's just do that. Let's just do that first. So I'm going to assume you reach into your pocket and you rub the coin. You actually are very used to Whimsy responding immediately, but this time you rub the coin and then there's nothing, and you're kind of worried for a second, and your friends are like looking at you like, is he talking to her yet? Like what's going on? And then you rub it a second time, and again there's like a pause as you wait for, you're used to it being immediate. And then finally you hear Whimsy's voice, and she says, "Oh, hey, so soon. What's happening?"
Just a quick question.
Certainly.
We kind of want to know how far away this advancing army is from us.
Do you know where you are?
Crap, what's the name of this place?
Llewyn?
Yeah, we're there.
She pauses for a moment. I'm not terribly familiar with the geography of the northern, or the elven
Just ask how
nation.
traveling, because we know how far for us it was.
So how fast are you traveling?
Right now, they're clearing roughage very quickly. The support from their spellcaster allows them to stop the regrowing of the weeds, and the slave drivers are actually making headway into the lands. I'm not sure what more I can tell you.
They're burning the forest and they have slaves.
Oh, yeah, I guess May was not aware of that. Yeah, back in the war camps, yeah, in the war camp they had elven slaves, and the elven slaves are tirelessly worked all day chopping and hacking away at the forest, but it was regrowing at a very similar rate, so the progression was very slow. But they didn't put soldiers there; they just had elven slaves working it, and it's essentially an internment camp type deal.
But like on the front lines, sort of.
Yeah, well, they're not fighting elves on the front line, they're fighting. But then people would travel into the brush, find elven villages or whatnot, and bring back more slaves, which is what Corbin had initially ordered everyone to do when they met you.
So we're gonna go stop that like as soon as possible, right? How many slaves do they have?
Are you is Fjorn asking Whimsy that?
I asked them that. They were apparently saw us, the elven slaves at the camp, and May just found out about it.
I don't know if I ever gave you guys a number.
I don't think you did, but
You did witness the camp, which was run by a tiefling taskmaster who was kind of a dick. I forget his name, but he had a big barbed whip with him, and he did not take kindly to you guys trying to talk to any of the elves. And you knew there was at least two on the map that I gave, which I can bring up really quick. Actual, like... that's not the right map. It's been a while since we've been at the That's not it either. Where is the... I must have it in the archives, actually.
Which one are you looking for?
The war camp. Here we go. Yeah, I had archived it, so I have to bring it back.
Okay.
Here we are. That's not it.
That's my own dad.
There we go. There we go. We got
Sorry.
there. We got there eventually.
All the maps she's collected. Oh, okay. I don't even know if I've seen this.
You
one.
probably haven't even seen it because this was where they were right before they went to see you. So in no episodes where you have existed, is where Maya has been in the party, have you seen this? This is what the war camp look like. And they can kind of tell you about this when you ask questions. So yes, they've been to the slave pens, which is just where they keep captured elves. The Enchanter's Tower was where Fjorn met Whimsy and had to bribe his way in. Of parts that you have never explored, they never went to the alchemist, the cartographer, or the stables, or the blacksmith, actually. They spent most of their time in the tavern/arena, the main quarters that they slept at, the storehouse where they met Port Figgins, the man with a broken arm who tried to help them contrary to the corruption that was going on. And while they were traveling along this northern part of the camp, they were able to eyeball these Western Clearing Camp, which are essentially just slaved elves chopping away at the forestry to almost no progress because the magic of that part of it is constantly growing back and shifting and moving, which is why you guys had to go with the Black Fang to move forward. And you guys are past that barrier now. It wasn't very far. It's only maybe an hour or two out of town that barrier starts, and it's more than 3 days thick. So journey's thick. So and you needed the Black Fang to make that journey 3 days. So it's hard to say exactly how quickly they'll be able to clear this now that they have someone who's disenchanting the regrowth. So that chopping and burning and moving forward is actually moving instead of them fighting against this impenetrable barrier. Basically, the trees just kept going, reaction shield, and they were like, damn it! But now they've got a counterspell type person that's basically allowing them to progress. I'll just leave this map up because we're in town anyways. Why not? It's fun. So I hope I answered some questions there.
So yeah, May's just I don't know how you guys are responding. How many slaves did you say essentially, or how big was the area or something like that? Rough.
Do you want a cold one or is this one good?
Oh man, I want a cold one.
You want me to open up the lid so you don't have to struggle with that? I'll do it.
Hey, invite me over.
Yeah, you're thinking hundreds of slaves.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You're also the army itself, if you're curious, is in the thousands.
Oh God. Okay. So I mean, in this camp specifically, I was more meaning.
Yes. The scale here is not the best.
So it's a massive. It's not really a camp. It's multiple.
It's a giant war camp. So when they first started, they were. I'll show you this map as well. Why not? When they first started in episode 1, Fjorn and Oris moved up here to this little camp, little bitty camp, which looked like this. And that's weird that's all they can see. Give me 1 second, and I'll give you the whole thing at this point. That's because night fell and then the goblins attacked. Which is just your generic looking camp with some small people. The people were regular size. Just a small number of people. That's where the misfits first met up. Then they traveled. It took them about over a day to travel along the way up this path. They got attacked. They fought an owl bear in the forest. They saw this harbor, which is where you think possibly the rest of your misfits gang will get their boat and attempt to leave the continent. And then the main war camp, which the scale, I'm trying to work on it, but it is a large, yes, it's a rather large war camp. It took them they would enter and then it would take them 30 plus minutes, maybe more, to get from one of these locations to another.
So, I just, yeah, I don't know. That's not, that's kind of immediately the most important thing I can imagine working on right now. May's pretty,
At
What do
least
you mean by working on? What's the plan? You guys gonna fight him?
or letting the town know what's going on, how serious it is.
yep, yeah, we should do that right away. Let's go to the academy, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So you guys go back to the academy, which is where Rim is at. We left him there, so you're all there now, all four of you. You return. While Fjorn was there, he had spoke with someone about potentially training the troops, and they offered him, he can basically pick a day to train troops and make some gold out of it whenever he wants. That might be offered to all of you. It was mostly offered to Fjorn because he's so overtly, obviously martial. He clearly has combat prowess. So I'm not certain if they will offer the same thing to the rest of the characters. For example, May and Blanford probably could get the same deal if they showed off some of their magical prowess, possibly.
Sure. I mean, maybe after.
Yeah, obviously that's not your priority right now. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll look for, I guess, anyone that sort of seems to be in charge. I don't know, any kind of guard that seems to.
Sure. Yeah, you see, there's a couple people in the yard that are, there's a bunch of soldiers in the yard, and they're being trained. They're doing the same drill over and over again, making a sword swing. And then there's an instructor that's keeping them to the beat of doing their throws. Their swings. And then there's another instructor that's watching the first instructor. So you suspect that there's some kind of level of command there to what's going on. You can speak to them if you want. No one is really stopping you from entering, even though you guys are strangers.
I think I want to go up to that guy.
Yeah, sure. You actually spoke to a different instructor the last time you were in, but when you immediately meet up with this man, you bring up the name of the previous instructor you'd spoke with as kind of a way to.
Bob, I talked to Bob.
Yeah, I already spoke with Jim Joe. Are we good? And he's just yeah, and he gives you a fist bump, and then he turns away from what he's doing, and he looks at you. He gives you guys a little look over, squints his eyes. Yes, what would you like?
I was wondering, is there a commanding officer that we could speak to? We have kind of a situation that maybe.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Give me a moment. And as he's walking away from the group, he says something to the instructor, probably telling him to keep the reps going or whatever as he walks away.
May's foot is tapping fast.
You watch these non-slaved elves continue to work and sweat and get stronger. Rim is busy doting over May. And a few moments later, the man comes back, and behind him is you see two other elven men. Actually, sorry, you see an elven man and an elven woman. The elven man looks to have.
This is very full. I can try.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. So the elven man is wearing, you can tell that he's a higher rank. He looks like he's wearing higher ranked, outfit, uniform, if you will. Not necessarily more armor, but just he's got more whatever stripes or whatever symbology that they use to denote rank. I have not, officially written that in, but we'll figure it out. And with that, you also see someone who the female elf is wearing armor and two swords akin to what you recognize the Black Fang usually wears. And as the two of them arrive, the original man that you spoke with says, "These are the people who wish to speak with you. They said they had something important." And then the man in the uniform says, "Excellent, thank you. Leave. I'll speak with them." And so he goes back to doing his duties, and the two of them stand there and look at you. "What do you want exactly?"
We just got information that there is a large army headed your way.
"A large army, you say?"
Yeah, possibly over 1,000.
"Maybe we should talk about this." And he's about to motion that we should go somewhere, and the female elf taps him on the shoulder for a second and whispers something in his ear, and he stops. And he says, "Mange whelps, huh? How can I be certain I can trust what you're saying?"
Obviously, I'm not part of the Cuban military. I know this is true as well.
The reason we left was because they were because of a moral objection to their insistence on attacking civilians.
Actually, the reason, we left the same army that is coming this way. We left because of their murdering of innocent elf lives.
I'm sure if this is truthful, we'll hear about it soon enough from more reliable sources.
You can at least.
If you don't care, I'm not going to stop you from not caring.
They don't. We don't know how defensible the city is. We just want to make sure that nobody dies. That's all. They have so many warriors, and they have people who they have spellcasters, and they've been enslaving the people on the border. My people, the high elves and the wood elves.
He looks around and he says, "There hasn't been a war in hundreds of years. I'm just supposed to believe a couple of mange whelps that..."
May sort of sarcastically. It's like, oh, I guess that means that war is never going to happen again then. That's not how war works, sir. The longer you wait, the more likely it becomes.
If that's what you believe, then we would very kindly request passage out of town.
Who is attacking us? Exactly.
The humans.
The
they're not
humans.
all bad. She gestures to them, but there's a lot of them that are.
Is there an empire, maybe?
The Ironfell.
Yeah,
the Goldmane Empire is attacking us.
Yes, and it has been for quite a while. There's a, and but I have a suspicion that it's not them directly. I think that there's a Mazgate cult that is pushing the war.
He looks to the elf beside him again, and she just shakes her head. "All of them, sir. I can't take the words from a bunch of mange whelps. Come back when you have some honor, and maybe I'll listen to you again."
Okay. All right, we're leaving. We're going to leave you to your fate. See you, bye.
No, exactly. What do we have to do to convince you of this?
She speaks again, and she says to him, not to you guys. She does not speak directly to you guys in any way. She says to the commanding officer, "I believe they know the Black Fang. He seems to be outside the city somewhere." And he says, "The Black Fang? Is that who told you to tell us these things?"
May is gonna look at the female elf. I'm assuming, I don't know if we know the name of this guy, but she's gonna ask the name of the female elf. What's your name?
And she ignores you entirely.
The Black Fang didn't tell us to say anything. He basically knows that we want to come here for our own reasons, and he, I think, has been made aware that this war exists. He didn't know until we. He knows that there is a military force, but he doesn't know how bad it is. We've been getting information from someone on the inside, and if you don't care to do anything with it, well, we can't make you. And if you're not going to, we're going to move on to the next big city and maybe to another continent, because we don't want to we don't want to deal with being on the receiving end of a military invasion. I think that it's time for us to go.
Yes, I think it is time for you to go. If you're going to betray those that... Why would we trust you?
When you're conscripted. We were conscripted against our will. We were asked to do things that were highly immoral, and so we decided to try and let the people who were on the receiving end of immoral things have a chance to stop it.
If you are familiar with the Black Fang, maybe he can help you with that. But I don't have any more time for this.
Okay, if you don't care to stop the war that's on your doorsteps, just kindly make a note that this conversation happened.
She speaks to him again in a brief whisper, and he says, he just shrugs.
Like, just make an administrative note that this conversation happened, that when the battle comes, it's on you, and that you're unprepared. Thank you.
May points at the two humans, Cider, Bjorn, and Blanford. These humans, these are the only humans that I've ever met that were honorable. The ones that are destroying the forest and enslaving elves, the ones that they left behind, the ones that you're saying they should have stayed with to not become disrespectful, those are the dishonorable. They're killing and they're destroying for no reason. They're worse than the Mazgate, because they know what they're doing, and they're doing it with hatred and disrespect.
You can, if you want, you can roll persuasion.
Alright.
But I hate to say it, I think you're still exhausted.
Yep.
No, I don't think so. Oh, boy.
Yeah, you rolled the 2 dice and were cursed with yet another day. This is the 3rd day in a row. You've been exhausted almost more than Rim has been, which is kind of crazy to think of.
Damn it, I don't understand why this can't. Okay, whatever, I'll just...
Is it not working? I know that Fallstar was having some issues too. I think you have to enable the extension.
I mean, normally it doesn't work anyways for me when I do the disadvantage. I thought with the new update it would work better.
Oh,
but
I see.
It doesn't really matter much. I mean, I think I got a 10. No, I got a 10 again. That works. So 10.
Sorry, my wife was speaking to me in sign language so that I wouldn't interrupt the stream.
That's alright. I got a 10, so I don't know. Hopefully the roll my ass bug was better.
A 10? Yeah. He turns, he looks at you, and he says, "If there's a war coming, we'll know when it's necessary.
It's necessary now.
But my diviner tells me there are no troops close enough for our concern."
Okay, we've done our job of letting you know. That was the entire reason we came here. If you don't care to do anything,
is leaving.
We'll go to another city. Thank you.
The two of them continue back. Can you, one of you, how about, I guess, you can roll it straight roll, no disadvantage. Can you do religion for me, May?
Religion? Sure, yeah.
Just because you were previously researching the Ava religion.
I
You
can't-
might be able to put 2 and 2 together here.
Extension. Sorry, this extension isn't even working like normal anymore. So let me get +7. Well, I got a 9.
Oh boy, yeah, that's not a very good roll.
I'm still used
Okay,
to
I thought I was, yeah. I mean, I guess all you take away from this is that you know that being a mange whelp is definitely not a good thing in the eyes of honor in the society, and somehow, even though you wouldn't have normally considered yourself marked as one, you are, and you don't know why or how they even know.
Yeah, that's what I say. How does she even know he was?
Yeah, if it had been a better religion, if you hadn't rolled a 2, I mean it's +7. I appreciate that. But if you hadn't rolled a 2, you might have been able to discern why. We'll figure it out down the road. You guys will get more opportunities to make rolls. Don't worry.
I'd like to go to the Temple of Ava.
Just like Kirk, she is emotionally compromised. Or should I say Spothic, for some reason. So, you guys gonna come outside too? She's just standing outside. She just left. She didn't even say anything. She just walked.
Yeah. Somebody is doing dishes, that's for sure.
We have to, as soon as you guys walk out, I don't know, you guys come outside. May is just going to, with a very determined look, just say, we need to make sure that they find out the war is coming as soon as possible.
We just did that, and they don't care.
What the heck was that?
Sorry, I was just testing if I could get the rolls to work.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what happened with my mind. Just like the extension isn't even showing up on the page anymore.
Yeah, that's what I think. You need to go to the extension and like enable it on both.
I mean, it's not disabled. I don't know.
And apparently, they don't care that it's happening. So, I can't. I'm trying to be the nice version who cares, but I can't care more than they do. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen.
I don't really care. This one person, whoever the hell is in charge, I don't care about what they're saying if they're not going to just listen to the truth. I care about all of the people that are here. There's
the people.
I don't know, there's thousands of elves that live in the city, and they're all going to be slaughtered or turned into slaves if we don't do anything. And if we don't do anything, then we're worse than that guy. We know the truth.
Fine, I guess we'll do something. What can we do?
I don't know. She's like obviously like kind of, she can't really think fully straight. I mean, she is still exhausted too, so that's probably part of it. She's just trying to think of something you guys can do. We have to get information to them somehow.
Let's ask what's her name? Our guide. What is her name?
Whimsy?
No.
Clementine.
Let's ask Clementine if she knows.
Yeah, when you left this morning, she mentioned that she would periodically return to the Greasy Goblin in case you guys needed her, as if she had nothing better to do.
Yeah, maybe she'll know more about the people. Maybe she'll know a different person too, or maybe she'll know. I don't know. Maybe we can get the word to like one of the scouts somehow or something, and they'll be able to get the information like a legitimate way instead of just from random strangers.
It's a good idea. Have them send somebody out.
Sure.
I guess we'll go back to the inn or wherever she's at.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You go back to the Greasy Goblin. It's these places aren't immediately beside each other, so I'm gonna say you guys are probably creeping into like not quite noon. I'd say 11 o'clock ish. I think I said it was 9ish earlier. You did some moving around. You went back to the academy. You picked up Rim. You spoke with some people. You came back. I'm gonna say it's around 11ish now. You guys are all still, haven't been in combat or anything, but the day is slowly ticking away. And you arrive back at the Greasy Goblin. You enter, and there's patronage and people out, and they, get you a table. And there's Clementine, sitting at one of the tables. As you come down, she's like writing stuff on papers and like doing something clerical. You're not exactly sure what she's. You know, as you sit down, one of you notices that like it has your names on the page, and she's like writing down notes on each of you and what have you. Hello, welcome,
good.
welcome back.
Hello, and it's good to see that we're official people who exist now that we're on paper.
So, May's just getting straight into business. So, do you know why everyone is disrespecting us?
Disrespecting you? I've been trying to spread the word that you are helpful. I hope that's okay. I've been trying to look for work for you, and sorry.
Do you know what a mange whelp is? I'll just go for that then.
She pales immediately. Wait, you're not all marked, are you?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm asking you.
You haven't heard the term before? It means that you're traitors that haven't earned your honor back. Is that true?
I can neither confirm nor deny. How would you earn honor back if there's not really any honor you have lost?
Correct.
Usually you can earn your honor back by finding a diviner that will... Oh, dear God. What have I tied myself to?
May put your hand on this lady's shoulder. Trust me, we're not bad people. We're not true traitors.
Yes, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have to start charging you a fee for my services.
Okay, well,
what's the fee?
Can you just tell us what kind of diviner we have to go to? Because that's all we really need to know.
A diviner? Yeah, there's some in the city. They'll be with people of import.
Is this like somebody? Sorry, is a diviner somebody would be like in a temple, or it's like a wizard or something?
You know that the Black Fang is a diviner. He explained that to you.
Oh.
He explained that that's where he gets his powers. You've been blessed by Ava. It gives you the ability to track in indefinite ranges. It gives you the ability to cast certain spells on yourself. It allows you to pierce the Shadowfell and the Feywild and track the Mazgate, that sort of thing. But then he was cursed on top of that, which is why he doesn't maintain the ability to go into the Shadowfell. But yeah, you guys are aware that without actually physically seeing the Black Fang and without you telling the diviner was able to discern that he is there.
Could a diviner hide? Could there be someone who specifically hides things from a diviner?
No, we're not trying to. No.
You might be able to ask around about that, but I mean, I'm just reminding you of information your characters know. I'm not giving you.
No, what I'm asking is, could someone hide an army from a diviner?
The diviners. You're asking why the diviners can't detect the. It's not. It's not unlimited range, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say why they aren't aware yet, or they may be aware very soon, depending on the.
I mean, it's not like magic can't block other magic. Especially if we do believe that the Shadowfell or some kind of shadow cult, the Gloom Ilk, is responsible for parts of the war that could easily be influencing the diviner's knowledge.
Man, I heard blue milk. And I'm just like laughing. I'm like, damn, why did I name them the glue milk? It
Is that where blue cheese comes from?
Jeez.
I just think it's funny because I always think of I figured out it was ilk immediately, but it sounds like elk, so it just sounds like you're saying gloom elk.
Same here. I for the longest time I thought there was some sort of dark Boy Scout troop.
Yeah.
I want to play a shadow elk at some point because that just sounds awesome. Like a massive shadowy like evil elk just like boring into us. Okay, we need to talk to the Black Fang, I think.
Okay.
I disagree. We need to we need to wait on talking to the Black Thing until after we've established the facts in the city, so that we don't seem like we are getting our story straight.
You notice Clementine is like gathering her things at this point for some reason. She hasn't
What
even
was the
explained to you
Phoebe?
what.
That's
Sorry.
What was
fine.
the Phoebe?
The,
What was the Phoebe?
I need to speak with someone about that. I don't know exactly. It may
I
even be
absolutely
too
understand.
late.
I absolutely understand.
I'll return shortly. I just need to see someone about this. Please, I don't mean to disrespect you. I do
I
appreciate
understand.
everything you've done for me so far. Which you're kind of like, what have you done so far for her? But you know,
Take it.
because you haven't completed any quests or done anything for the town yet. So I mean,
It's okay. We understand.
she does her like little nod and she scurries out of the building.
I'm sorry. I understand. You probably shouldn't have said we were main job. We really need to find out. Stop this
How
from
to deal with
happening.
it.
There's a chance she may now be marked as well, which is, you know, because she helped you for free.
Should we go give her 3 pieces of silver?
Well, we'll see when she comes. Like that's the thing. She's going to find out exactly what she would have to charge and what the like rules are exactly. She understands the religion far enough that it's important, but she doesn't know exactly the specifics. You may be the first mange whelps that she's had like immediate contact with, so now she's concerned.
Should we maybe follow her? To see.
Can anyone go invisible?
Well, I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna just take a break here, real quick, if you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna take a 5-minute break from the stream and from everybody. Appreciate the couple of people who are watching. You guys are awesome. And feel free to think about it and discuss what you want to do over the next little bit. Depending on what we do, I might just like randomly throw some combat at you because we haven't had combat yet, and I wanted there to be some today. So we'll see what happens. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Theory.
And you guys
Theory.
plan your day.
I have a theory that the gray skin disease is a for lack of a better word, is a mark of the grayscale that's exacerbated after you haven't done anything with it, when you don't know about it.
What?
The
what?
gray skin disease theory. Someone who's marked from the main 12, but hasn't done anything about it. It's an exacerbated mark.
I mean, was there any reason why the people you talked to were angel whelps? That seems it seems like the problem is they do have social problems. Like socially, people don't want to listen to what you have to say and things. So it feels like unless they're just lying about it, right? I did miss part of the thing, so that's why I'm just. It seems like that'd be unlikely. My thing is that I think the reason why I wanted to talk to the Black Fang is just because so basically there's like we either need to figure out a way to get the information we have to someone who will talk to somebody important kind of a thing. So like either like figure out a way to get the like make sure the scout goes in the right direction or something like that if we can do, but that seems just really hard to influence. So possibly going and maybe you have to go fight the Black Fang right now, and that way he can get the combat that he wants and stuff. I don't know if we're strong enough, but I'm like, we need to not be people they don't want to trust, you know? Because we're already strangers, and now we're also apparently not respectable because we did the right thing.
Well, there was always the option we had of there's always the option to
I've returned.
Hey, DM, is there an option to go back in time and massacre the village to fix all of our problems?
Massacre which village?
No.
Boulder, is there an option to go back in time and do that?
Wait, why do you want to massacre the
Really?
village?
So we don't have this main felt problem to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
I mean, you mean be part of the military? I mean, it was always an option to be part of the military. I'll tell you a little secret, though. Behind the veil, behind the screen, if you will, because it's not fun being powerful heroes beating down a measly army. Basically, whichever side you had chosen, the other side was going to swell, so that there'd be something worth fighting against. So, yeah, you guys chose to, come to the elves and side with them, and so now you have to worry about the military coming from the other side. I mean,
okay, I was just wondering.
But yeah, if you'd slaughtered the village and killed all the elves, May included, I suppose. You could have took May as a slave.
It would have become the big bad.
May would have become.
Yeah, May would have been.
Well, the big good, because you guys would have been evil. So, anyways, Fjorn, what do you think?
About
Any of the stuff that's going on? What should we do next? I don't know. Me and Walter talk a lot, so I wanted to see what you were thinking.
I've got my train of thought kind of got lost because I was thinking that maybe Clementine could tell us a way to get to scout, maybe to have them sent out to scout the army that's coming.
You do have Whimsy. I actually think we ended the call to Whimsy just like randomly. I don't even remember like completing it to.
I don't really know how it works. I just figured it was kind of like it was always a short conversation. We probably said bye. Maybe. Well, I don't know if Whimsy is someone they would listen to. I guess maybe that could work. I don't.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood your question.
I was thinking we wanted to send out a scout or someone that could from the town. That way they could see the army coming and come back and tell the ones that won't listen to us.
It's an option.
I mean, we kind of want to manipulate it, though. I mean, not to. We don't want to think that we are the people really involved unless we can. Because no one's really going to want to just be like, oh, unless maybe if we can pay somebody, but even then we're paying them, so they're going to be like, oh, maybe they paid them to lie. So I think the Black Thing might be useful. Maybe we can just fight him. I don't know if we're strong enough to do that, but we
Together we could. I think.
What?
The DM thinks that it might be possible if you had Oris with you.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, there's only freaking 3 of us. I guess Rim could come, but
I have a couple of spells that that would be fairly useful.
I feel like there's got to be a different way. And that's why I also want to talk to him, because he's apparently a diviner. All that possible way is you can come back from it, and it feels like raw combat is kind of stupid, at least to May, who is more of like an intellectual. So she thinks that there's got to be some way to not just be like, I gotta punch this guy until he respects me again.
I agree, but there is people are stupid and think with their feelings, and sometimes that's the only way that things work. And you have to work with the chains of reason flow from first premises, not through them. You have to work with what you're given.
Well, maybe, yeah, sure. But I mean, this is why I want to talk to him, because we don't really know. He's just kind of mentioned that if we fight him and beat him, we'll gain his respect, and that sort of implies we'll gain others' respect. But there hasn't been, any other discussion about it. I think that we can maybe take him. Maybe there's other diviners that have different things that they'll respect you for, like say for me, I can, as a wizard, as someone who's more of an intellectual, I suppose, maybe there's someone that is like a wizard, but they're also a diviner, and so their test wouldn't be the physical kind, it would be some kind of puzzle or something like that. The problem is we don't know all the different diviners in the city. But
I'd like to go to the Temple of Ava.
yeah, I guess I did go there. Would there be any way of me knowing if there's a diviner there? Or would we have to go back?
At the temple?
Yes.
You didn't see anybody who has the same gear as the woman you just saw, or the Black Fang. They have if you're gonna assume that's what a diviner is,
Certain
you haven't seen anyone else fit that description other than those two. But like you were just saying, it's always possible that there are other kinds of diviners and you wouldn't know.
Wait, so that lady was also a diviner? Probably?
Was I not making that obvious?
I didn't get that at all, but maybe
No!
I missed.
You could have asked to fight her.
I don't know.
Fought her right there. It's okay. Well, maybe
Yeah,
after.
I thought I had said she whispered to him, and then he said, "My diviner says."
I missed that. I'm so sorry. Well, how about Fjorn mentions it, and I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't realize I would have fought her right there."
We could have thrown down right there and dealt with this issue.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, who's to say? You'll have to try that out, or ask someone about that to find out what would have happened there.
That would have been a lot of fun.
Maybe.
I kind of want to Black Fang, but I suppose.
Okay, the next. All right, if we didn't see someone with that imagery, if no one saw that at the Ava Temple, which is interesting in itself, I would like to go to the Ava Temple anyway, just to.
Sure. Is that the plan? You guys are going to go to the Temple of
going
Ava?
by the Ava Temple, but I think we should go see the Black Thing afterwards. That's my vote.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I'd like to check out the Ava Temple, and I would like to. There's another thing I wanted to do today, but that can wait. I would like to. I'd like to ask if they have somebody who can. If they have somebody who can see far distances, or who can, if they have,
I would say that that's a diviner.
So they don't.
I mean,
Okay.
They can track long distances with relatively fantastic accuracy. That's what the Black Fang had been doing, and he explained that that's how you track the Mazgate as well.
So the next, I'm going to ask also.
That's why he knew that there was like rifts, the Shadowfell, and the temple as well. They just have this like almost omnipotent or omniscient,
sense.
Yeah, gifted to them by Ava.
I'm going to ask them what is required to.
Who are you asking?
I'm going to ask the temple.
Okay. Sorry. So you guys are going to go to the Temple of Ava.
Bjorn, do you want to go to the temple too? Trying to get out of here.
I guess so.
You're immediately attacked by some grizzly bears. We got to get combat in here, guys.
Well, I was thinking. So the diviner could see that.
Can see what?
Sense danger coming.
You're asking if the diviner is aware of an army that's 3 days away?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, okay, you can kind of logically discern something here. They have towns along the border with diviners. Well, you're assuming, because the Black Fang was at the one at Boulder, you're assuming that each one at least has a diviner at it. If they were capable of divining over a 3 days journey, they probably wouldn't require those towns. So you're going to assume that the range is enough that they require to have that bordering thing. Now, you don't know how or if the diviners are capable of relaying information back to the mainland or not. You don't know about that. That may be something you could ask the Black Fang, who's to say he would offer that information up freely or not. He is kind of a dick about things. But yeah, you can make the assumption that their range is less than that. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to put anybody out there.
All right, I'm going to ask them if they I'm going to ask them if they can if they have any restrictions on if they only have 2 temples in town, if there are restrictions on other worship.
Okay, who are you at?
Are
you asking? Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are going to the Temple of Ava. That's what your plan is?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that. That's step 1 before you can speak to anyone there, right?
Correct.
We'll walk to the temple.
Okay, so on the way to the temple, you're about halfway, and Clementine is rushing back towards you. You can kind of guess that that's where she had been. So she meets back with you about halfway, and she stops. She's out of breath. Hey, where are you guys heading?
We're heading to the market.
No, we're not. Where are you heading?
You can roll deception if you'd like.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I'm going to immediately just say that's not true.
Well, maybe she believes the less exhausted person. You don't know. 20. I mean, he's very believable.
I guess I'll roll.
Oh!
I don't really care either way.
Okay. So I just wanted to confirm. I have been marked. But because I hadn't known, I can make retributions. Step 1, I need you all to recover your honor, and then I need to charge you a fee.
What's the fee?
Is it 30 pieces of silver?
It's not much. I can take it out of a quest. If you help the town, which you might do anyways to recover your honor, I can just take a fee from any jobs you receive.
Most excellent. So how would we do this? Do we have to go and track down the person who ordered us to massacre an elfin village and kill him? Because we can do that, but it'll be difficult.
You see her like noticeably becoming stressed as you talk about these things.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later, lady. We know where she lives about, right?
No, you don't.
Okay, well, will she get in contact with us?
She will continue to contact you, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we have to let you know.
Well, hopefully you can start helping the town, I would think, would be step 1.
Yeah, we're
absolutely
a full Zuko right now. We're gonna gain our honor.
Yep.
We will not stop until our honors are gained.
Well, I'll just remind you of the I think I said quests by accident. She wouldn't actually call them quests. She would call them just like jobs and stuff. I'll just remind you of the opportunities already presented to you. There was a man who wanted you to help him enter the Shadowfell. Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
He was offering you quite a substantial 2,000 gold in, 2,000 gold out.
Let's do that, because
there's also the Crackle Forge, which I recommend, actually. There is no one offering a reward for it, but that just makes it all the better for helping the town. If you do things for free, it doesn't help me get rid of my marking, but it might help you.
What would your fee be?
We can discuss that after.
No, let's just say, give us a general number, because we might be able to.
Well, you can't do it now. You have to earn your honor back first, and then. So okay. right now you have this innocent woman who's wanting to help you, and you've marred her even further into social regression. You have
She's
to
ready
earn your
throw
own
some
honor
slime.
back first, and then either
We-
pay
she's
her
ready to throw some slime,
or
and we
like
wrecked her.
yeah, there's
She's
some
a
steps.
ruined woman. She's a ruined
It'll
woman.
honestly, there'll probably be a point where you get to just decide if you care enough about her to bother getting her honor back. Because, I mean, if the way to get your honor back is to fight a diviner, she is never going to be able to do that. So she might just be boned. But yeah, basically you have to get your honor back and then either pay her some amount or do quests where she takes a percentage of it or something like that.
Let's go. This actually makes things a lot simpler because we had a certain thought of how this would go, and it's gone nothing like that. And we tried to pass on some information that went nowhere, and we're going to have to go on. We're going to have to. I think that's the best.
She's going to
course of
mention
options.
one more job to you guys as
Ooh.
well, just so you guys are aware of things that you can do. She said she met a man, and she wasn't going to mention it before, but now that she knows that you're marked, she'll mention it because he's not offering a lot of a reward. But that might be helpful because you're trying to earn your honor back. There's a man named One-Eyed Soul. He is a hunter, and he has some hunts, if you will, that he's been trying to take down, big game, and he needs your assistance in that. What he's willing to pay you is a lot less than what Dapper Dan is offering you. And he will assist you in taking down the big game as well. You'll have to speak with him about it. He was a little tight-lipped because he's worried that he'll scare away potential people who want to fight the creature. But yes,
I think that sounds. I am most interested. Okay, let's have a vote. Who wants which? Let's go to Discord so we can.
Yeah, sure. You can vote on the quest, or you can go to the temple first if you want to discuss more things with. I don't know if Clementine gave you enough information or not.
I still don't want to do a quest right now. That seems like it's a time-consuming thing. If we need to do that, I'm okay.
I would. Okay, I would rather do this one.
Okay, you want to go to the? You can just say you want to go to the forge. There's only 3 of us. We don't need to put.
No, you have to vote in secret.
We'll cast lots.
And mail-in votes will not be counted.
But Fjorn, what do you think? I still want to talk to what's his name and possibly fight him because I'm just getting.
There might be another way besides fighting too. We don't.
This is the other way besides fighting.
Well, according to her,
Yeah, we haven't talked to Blackfang yet.
he's an actual diviner. He'll actually know. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but we are contagious.
How long is it going to take for us to talk to him? I feel like we have to walk out of the village and talk to him really quick. It's not like it's going to take a full day or half the day. It's going to be like an hour maybe, right?
I'm ready to start walking off. I'm going to start talking to her and asking her where the forge is. Because this is what you want. You want a way that is not fighting someone you're friendly-ish with, and fighting a diviner. And this is the way to do it. And the forge is the way that gets us most respect because it's the most
The Crackle Forge.
It gets us the most respect because it's the most helpful for the city.
What was the quest involved there with the forge?
The Crackle Forge. The Crackle Forge is a magical dome-like entity that exists just outside of town. People aren't really sure what it is. It's just been there for a while. People avoid it. Basically, you have to go there and figure out what it is and possibly get rid of it. But you don't know a whole lot about it. It's mostly just this marred mark on the landscape. It's annoying and people avoid it. It doesn't cause any overt harm other than it was actually placed like on a road, and now they have built another road, and that road is dilapidated. They had to like build the road around this thing. It's a large dome, some amount of distance wide. I'm not going to say she knows.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to just say I think that if we even do a quest, which again I'd like to talk to Blackfang first. If we do one, I think the most obvious one to do is the one with the noble and going to the Shadowfell. I'm assuming that's not going to be long. It seems like it's like a short trip. I mean, maybe he wants to be there for a week, but I doubt it. That's the whole point.
You do know you'll be in the Shadowfell for hours. That was something she explained. That this will be the first time that you have to be in the Shadowfell for a lengthy period of time. There may be roles related to that because you guys are not accustomed to being in the Shadowfell for more than a few minutes.
Right.
And we also know that Rim was there for days, and it did cause some issues. So
we've been to the Shadowfell before. That's something we actually know about. This noble clearly is a noble or rich person who would even boost more. We also get the money to pay her off. I feel like that's the mission we should go for if we go for a mission, not just the Krakow Forge could take friggin' forever. There's like just it's a mystery. We have to solve a mystery. That seems like
It seems like it's something we're not good at.
well, not that. It's just even if we can do it, it seems like if it was something solved, it would have been solved by someone already. There's plenty of people in this town.
yeah,
Okay.
Unless there's something very specific to
Maybe it
your
requires
party that makes it solvable. The
I
DM
know.
doesn't know anything.
I'm
The
not
DM
meta,
doesn't know.
clearly. I'm talking in character. I mean, metagame, sure, we probably can solve it faster than the regular folk, but to me, it's like, if this has been here for a while,
Sure.
it would be stupid for us to assume that we can just solve it really easily.
When I fought him earlier, he said something about gaining our honor back, but he never said he could actually be the one to lift it, the curse.
Well, I thought he did mention, or maybe this was just Tuber talking, but I thought he mentioned that if we beat him, we wouldn't have it anymore, essentially.
Yeah, he mentioned that he would tell you the term that would essentially be what you would be instead of a mange whelp. Secretly, this was something that the DM put in a long time ago as the potential name for your party, possibly.
Oh, okay.
Forever ago, so it might not be. But yeah, it's definitely... you're not 100% sure if he's going to be able to... you assume that by telling you, that's how you break it, maybe. That maybe just knowing the words, but then you question why the other Ava elves wouldn't know that already. So yeah, you're not 100% sure. He was kind of vague in Black Fang.
Well, they figured out we're mange whelps without knowing or whatever, so I'm assuming it's a magic thing.
Yeah, it sounds. I would go so far as to say it's a diviner thing.
I had a theory during break that the gray skin stuff is it's a mange whelp contagion that has metastasized instead of being a magical aura attached to the skin.
Which, I mean, again, what I said was, I doubt it because, one, I mean, it's possible, I suppose, but there wasn't any evidence of that from the people you talk to. Second, there's actually evidence against it if you think about it, because they said there was no social problems they experienced, which is exactly
the guys that works in politics. Of course, there's not going to be a social problem.
Well, what? Yes, there would, because no one would respect you. That's the whole point of this thing, is that anyone that finds out you're a mange whelp, if that's the way you can tell, then they're going to be like, no, I'm not going to... He'd probably not even let him have a job. I don't know.
That's true. Not in town hall, anyway.
Yeah, in like a town hall position of some kind of power.
You also know that it's kind of related to military, so it seems unlikely that a civilian would be given that title.
Okay.
They were lying, which they could have been, but it seems unlikely.
That's a lot of lies.
Yeah, you guys aren't rolling any insights, so you don't know exactly if people are lying about stuff or not.
Right.
Okay, so
the Black Fang lied this whole time.
Right. Okay. We're going. So, rock, paper, scissors.
You're halfway to the temple, and you've stopped on the road. Clementine is still with you, but she's willing to. She's kind of understood that you guys are going to be busy, so unless you need to ask her more stuff, she's willing to let you.
No, I'm kind of convinced. I'm actually sort of convinced about going to the I do not want to go to the Black Fang again. But I am sort of convinced about going with Dapper Dave. About the value of that.
Dapper Dan. Dapper
Dan, man.
Dapper Dave?
Dapper Dave is his son.
That's his brother, yeah. What are you talking First name Dapper, last name Dave. Oh, I don't
We'll probably just leave her, but I want to know. Can she tell us where he is? Like, is he staying somewhere or something right
Dapper
now?
Dan?
If we choose to do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dapper Dan.
she can definitely help you. She can help you with either of these. You give her, she'll tell you exactly where to go, exactly what to do if you take up the job.
Okay. Okay, Fjorn, I guess you're the tiebreaker because I would like to go see Blackfang first.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Simply because I know after the last time I fought him, he said that I did gain a little bit of respect with him, even though he beat me bad.
Right.
I'm going to as we leave, I'm going to cast minor illusion on myself to turn my skin gray.
Sure.
Just to see if
Minor illusion. Minor illusion.
Yes.
I think it probably has to stay in place, but I'm not sure.
I thought minor illusion was
You create an image of an object.
Yeah, like I thought that you had to like create something. I don't know if you can like
Oh.
a mask. I don't know if you can change
Makeup. Yeah, it's like
I guess prestidigitation, maybe. I'm not. I can't.
I don't have prestidigitation. Darn it.
you create a sound or image of an object. Yeah, like I feel like you're making like a rock or like a gold coin or something. I'm not sure if you can just change your appearance with this.
I was only looking for like skin tone, not like
Create an
features.
image of an object as a chair.
I was only looking to change skin tone, not anything else.
I guess I could try. So with prestidigitation, if you want to do this for, I don't know why you want to do it.
I want to see if anyone reacts to me with different skin color.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just have you roll for it to see if you're gonna try to use a spell for something that it's not actually intended to do.
Arcana.
Yeah, you can do an Arcana. I'm not gonna tell you the DC. You're just gonna have to roll Arcana.
Fails.
And
It's an 8.
hey, that's not very good. I was gonna say, no matter even if you did do it well, it was only gonna be your face. It wasn't gonna be your skin and arm, like any other parts of you that are visible. You're able to do it, but it's kind of patchy.
I drop it. I was trying to see if I could make myself to get a test to see what people's reaction to me was as they first see me.
I find that interesting that you guys think having gray skin is the mange wealth thing when you guys have been made.
I don't think that at all.
Then you would have gray skin, but I mean maybe not. Maybe it takes some amount of time, and you guys haven't been mange whelps that long.
That's what yeah, it's a time thing.
Like if you don't deal with it after X long, and you've then it stops being an aura and it attaches to your skin.
Possibly.
And so, like, if you avoid the diviners for long enough, then you have gray skin instead of.
I wanted him
aura.
to become a leaper. That would have been sweet.
Well, I love it.
Yeah,
Sorry, like that was my reasoning.
Okay. No, I understand. And honestly, if you had rolled better, the DM probably would have allowed it to happen. But in this situation, it didn't quite do what you wanted, and you're not going to be able to do it.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you know Disguise Self, but it's an actual spell slot.
Yeah, that
But I'm
would
not casting spells right now because I feel.
Well, cantrips are spells. Like, you still did verbal and like, you still did the... It has verbal and semantic components.
I did a Power Rangers routine. I'm aware of it.
It's okay.
Go
You did Disguise Self before and in public, and people didn't, like, freak out immediately.
I'd like to,
Clementine's kind of used to it by now. She just kind of ignores you, and you decide to draw your weapons in town, basically.
All right, Black Fang. We go to Black Fang.
All right, you've agreed that that's where you're going. Okay, so you decide to head out you after having explored the town some more, you know that there's more than one gate out of the city, but you're gonna go back to the one that you came into, the one that the one that you're most familiar with, and where you figure that's where the Black Fang would be. Although he did say he would find you no matter where you went, and now that you know that, and now you're very familiar with the fact that diviners can track people, he's probably just constantly aware of where you are, and will just go to wherever the gate is if you start approaching one. Either way,
huh.
On the way, May's like, so when we get our honor back, do you think it'd be cool to become diviners? They seem pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, possibly, unless you're limited to having to have been the specific race.
Seems like it's kind of cool.
I bet we could become, if we like did really good, Ava would still bless us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's racist, so who cares?
In which case, we can leave these people to their own devices, go hop on a ship, and go elsewhere.
Just because their god
It's
is
always an
racist,
option.
they are racist.
You guys can go find the rest of the Misfits and then take a boat off the continent. That was always an option. I have like underdeveloped but still existing content related to you guys hitting the high seas. So I mean, I'm not suggesting you do it because it's a lot of travel time and whatnot. But it's not. You can't do it. You could definitely still do it.
May is unable to do that now. She, with the knowledge of the fact that they're slaves and stuff, that's even to her that's even more worse than the war happening.
Okay.
Like with the war going, like the fact that there's a war is like scary, but there's gonna be fighting and whatever. And that's just like fighting. But the fact, I don't know, just the fact that they're like enslaving, not just killing and attacking people. Like, we could fight back against that, but the fact that they're just, like, enslaving and... it's more clear...
Well, who knows? Maybe when the woods are cleared, they'll release the slaves. Who knows?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe.
Like,
release them unto death. Yeah, hard to say.
I don't know. It became more real to her. Not that she obviously wanted to stop the war, but this just makes it slightly more real to her for some reason.
More than watching the town burn, and you're like, and Phalor being slaughtered.
Here's an interesting question: if we were to go back to the and rescue those elves and bring them to this town, would they believe those elves, or would they be? Are you
saying? Do you think that would stop you from being mange whelps?
Or those elves being mange whelps because it's apparently contagious.
It's contagious if you help the person that's a mange whelp for free. That's
why May and Rim have it, because they're just traveling and doing stuff with you guys.
And why the Black Fang charges you for things.
It's not like an actual disease. Like you touch them and oh my god.
I'm not aware of this. I haven't figured that out.
Maybe it is a disease. It sounds gross. Either way.
Well, it's not called a disease. It's not like the mange whelp disease. It's just called you're a mange whelp.
It just becomes your title. It's just who you are.
Like a leper still has leprosy. We don't have a condition that they're calling it. So that makes
you guys have the mange of the mange whelp. You are whelps with mange. No, I don't know. Either way, as you guys are contemplating life and these things, you find yourself exiting the town and you don't see the Black Fang right away, but you do notice some trees off in the distance, and then every once in a while you see someone behind one of the trees like waving you over.
Okay.
Because the Black Fang, he's one of them mysterious buggers who likes to just be stealthy and disappear all the time.
I want to make sure it's him. Can I roll investigation?
Sure.
Perception or something?
Yeah, you can. Or you could have someone who's not exhausted do it, like Rim.
Well, she's just doing it. I mean, if somebody else wants to do it.
Summon your dang squire. Summon...
I'm going to try investigation. I don't know if that's going to work. But...
Okay, so we did this already.
9!
It looks like a cloaked... You're pretty sure it's a Black Fang.
I'd like to cast message and say, "Hey, is that you? Are you the Black Fang? We're just double checking."
He can't respond, right? You're just telling him.
Yeah, you can. With message.
He can.
Oh.
Right.
Let me tell you about this. You can respond to this message.
Yes.
Yeah, but he would be aware that he can respond. He says, "Yes, it's me. What do you want?"
We're just trying to confirm a couple of things. I'll let May know. Let me do the talking on this one because I don't understand what this is all about.
You're just gonna go over and talk to him? Like, you don't have to.
No, because apparently we're contagious.
Anyways, so
we've been around you before.
Yeah, quite a bit. And
Yeah, so-
people don't seem to like him to begin with, so...
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think he might be the wrong diviner. But he's a diviner, so at the very least,
Maybe he's a mage whelp too, and you guys got it from him. Oh, now you hate him. No,
I'm gonna just immediately get into it. We need to know everything you can tell us about what a mange whelp is, why we are it, and how we can no longer be mange whelps.
Didn't I tell you this before?
Anything you haven't told us, if there was anything you didn't.
You can challenge me, and if you defeat me, then...
Is there any other way? I mean, we don't mind having to fight you. We don't really want to. We want to. It doesn't feel like that should be the only way.
I only know the ways I've been taught. You could speak to a priest of Ava, maybe. I don't know. It's up to Ava.
It's up to Ava.
Okay. Is he an Ava elf?
He might be. Who wants to roll insight on that?
Well, we don't.
You're more familiar with the way Ava elves look, so you might be able to discern that very easily.
Okay, I guess. I mean, I have disadvantage.
Well, somebody else can do it.
I can. Let me pull up my insight is good. I will roll.
Okay.
If you can help me.
That was just my insight.
Just roll. Just roll. You can each roll. Just roll it.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Fjorn has not been around the elves enough. They all look the same to him. He's just not quite sure. Even May is starting to question her ability to tell elves apart. She looks over at Rim for a second. Like, is he an Aven elf too? But yeah, Falstar is pretty sure. Or sorry,
it's Blandford right
Blandford is pretty sure that he is an Ava elf.
So
Okay.
What?
Anyways, so can we? I
mean, you could fight any diviner if that's something. I'm guessing since you're back here asking about it, you've met one. Otherwise, you probably would have gone unknowing.
Well, here's the thing.
But I don't recommend. Sorry.
We tried to pass on the information we have to the military, but they're just like, "Oh, they're a main club, so we can't."
It's the first time you've seen him laugh. He's been very serious, and he's just like laughing.
We can't accept the intelligence that there's an army on the way from someone who's from that army who's left because they're or giving immoral orders, but they're traitors to that army, so they can't give information that's
I wouldn't worry too much. The army's not going to get past our barrier, the forest.
It's being burned down as we speak.
I've seen it grow.
What
power would burn it down?
Apparently there is a sorcerer or wizard or warlock or something.
Meta's a 3 spellcaster. Maybe it's a bard.
Yeah, there's someone who's been sent specifically to deal with the. There's someone who's been sent specifically to deal with the barrier.
You know this for sure.
Yes.
For certain.
Yes.
Your source can be trusted.
Yes.
Because if you're wrong, you'll be worse than mange whelps. And so will I.
We have someone who we talk to.
Who speaks to them?
Fjorn.
And how?
Do you know who Whimsy is?
No. The name means nothing to me.
Okay.
Do you know the name? You know the rat lady who? There's a network we've been coming across. We've come across.
She met the rat lady, or he met the rat lady.
Okay, the rat lady knows knows Whimsy, and the rat lady specifically.
The rat woman told you that there's a military that's so powerful it can burn down our magical barrier.
The rat lady's close friend is Whimsy, and Whimsy has been talking with us through talking to us directly through a coin.
He just stands back. He just kind of folds his shoulders.
Well, we don't mind if they need to verify our information, but they don't trust us at all.
They are not even accepting that our information is worth verifying.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
They can
well,
bring someone like
I
a
can
cow.
ring the alarm bell, but
If it's going to be a risk to you, don't. Just, I don't know.
No, I understand you want to verify. I do understand that, and I don't want to. We could be wrong. There's totally possibility. I'm pretty sure I've never met Whimsy in person. I've never met Whimsy in person. So we just need to. We need them to take us seriously, even a little bit, because I mean, there could be a war coming. There could be. You know that they were soldiers before. You know that this is something that could possibly come to pass. They don't
how
even
big
understand
is
that.
this army?
What
sorry?
did Whimsy say, Bjorn?
There's
What
at
are the
least
numbers she
1,000.
mentioned? Oh yeah, that.
We knew that from when we were
I
there.
mean, I knew they were coming in to take slaves, and they were harassing the town, and you dealt with those few that attacked us. I assumed it was...
Yeah, we've come to the conclusion that there is a Mazgate cult behind the war effort because because there when we were in the camp there were the people who were the person who was officially in charge of the camp was actually a fairly decent person. There was also a group of people who were awful, and they were the ones who were leading the more violent, awful bits of the war. And they also happen to be the Shadowfell glue milk types, and who seem to be very interested in doing stuff with the Shadowfell and the Mazgate. And from our interrogation of someone in the Shadowfell, they are trying to
Help this? I don't know. He doesn't even
yes,
know.
hold on. They're trying to cause the war between the elves and the humans in order to take over the material plane. Yeah, the Goldmane Empire and the elves in order to weaken both in order to take over the material plane from the Shadowfell.
Okay.
Well, they'll have a tough time, that's for sure.
So, we would like to possibly fight you.
Yes.
But we want to know if that would definitely, if we do beat you, is that definitely going to remove status?
I would think. Again, it's not truly up to me. It is up to Ava, but in the past it has worked.
With the,
I just want to warn you, if you decide not to fight me and you fight another diviner, I don't recommend it. They will kill you if they win. You have at least my willingness to only wound.
Okay.
I just wanted to let out what we have discovered, that so that even if you do nothing with it, you've at least heard it, and someone has heard it. That is at least not going to go, oh, they're gloom, they can't be trusted because they've tried to do the right thing at some point in their life. So, okay, that was all we needed to say.
Thank you.
would this help all of the group, or just us that's present?
You're asking if it would help Oris.
Right.
Nope, it will not work. I don't think we need to wait, and we need to reschedule when Oris
You run the risk of regaining your mage whelp status.
He's training with. I think he ran off to find someone to train with.
Yeah. What did you? Sorry, Shub?
If you beat me and then return to helping him, you may fall victim to the same issue.
So we have to wait for him to fight this guy?
Or if he beats me on his own, how much training is he getting? And he laughs
clearly
again.
not.
When he comes back, he's liable to be able to kill you by himself. Is that scary enough?
Roll intimidation, please.
Do it.
He just continues to chuckle to himself. This is the most fun I've had in a long time.
God damn it.
And I have +4.
No, it's fine. I don't want to. I wanted to do this, but I didn't want to have to wait for Oris. But I don't want to go do something else because I think it's stupid.
I was
We
thinking
can. I would
quest
recommend.
better.
Let's just go on. Let's just do the quick Dapper Dan thing.
You've got 4 potential quest lines, some of which don't require too much dipping your. You can just dip your toe in the water. So I mean,
Yeah, let's continue.
if you forgot the
who wants
4th
to-
one being the Gray Folk thing.
Yeah, let's keep looking through the area and trying to figure out what in the world's going on with Grey Folk.
If that, I mean, it's the least pressing of the 4, but
Yes, but let's figure it out.
it doesn't require you doing. Keep in mind, the Crackle Forge is a few hours out of town, and that's it.
No, let's Crackle Forge it. We can do that quick.
What's his name? What did I call him? One-Eyed Soul. You don't know how far away his hunt is. You'd have to go speak with him. So you have to spend a little bit of time going to speak with him and figuring out what he wants to do. He didn't tell Clementine because he's worried he'll scare off. Who knows? Maybe he's talking about something scary. Maybe he's talking about something weak. There's also only 3 of you. Or I guess there's 4 of you.
You want the hot fluffs, right?
And Dapper Dan wants you to travel hours out of town. Who knows? Some amount of time out of town. Go into the Shadowfell. Travel some untold hours. Retrieve the flower and then come back. So if time crunch is your biggest concern, Dapper Dan's quest is the best payout, but as well it is the most time consuming. Whereas you can talk to, if you wanted to just know exactly how much time you can spend on each thing, you'd need to talk to One-Eyed Soul first.
This is clearly not a good idea, but this is just me. Is it possible to fight in place of Oris?
Who? In place of Oris. Who would take his place?
I would.
I could.
I don't understand. You mean you want to fight me collectively, then afterwards you want to fight me one-on-one?
No, rather than regaining whatever the hell status that would be regained besides Mage Belt for myself, if we beat you, would I be able to gain it instead for Oris?
So then you would still be a main. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never seen anyone do that before. It's possible. I'm not a scholar. I can't tell you the exact way Ava thinks.
I'll turn to Fjorn and Blamford and just say,
Let's do it.
What's the advantage of that? Because then you'd still you're still going to take one of your characters and say they can't journey with you.
And one of us is going to mess up and help
What?
one of them.
Oh, no,
I disagree. Let's not do this until we have.
Is your plan to get everyone to be not a mange whelp, and then you're just going to go study in the library while everyone else quest? Is that the plan, like secretly?
Well, no, that's not what she wants. But I mean, this is really, really important.
It is, but important. Yes, urgent. That's the question.
It's also urgent to me.
Okay.
But so, crap. I forgot what I was gonna say now.
I don't know. For all I know, you guys could help the town, and Ava could forgive you.
I was thinking perhaps
I've never seen it happen, but you guys are showing me many things I've never seen happen.
perhaps we can go and we can pray to Ava in the temple.
Hey, maybe you just pay. Maybe you just pay like some untold amount of money, and then you get penance.
I said pray, but that would also work.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I was just assuming that praying meant paying.
Oh,
a tithe.
no,
Let's go investigate this forge, and then we get some money, and then we can.
We're not getting money for the forge. We're not doing the forge.
We will find money at the forge. But we all know this.
No, we're not metagaming. I think we should do the noble thing, if anything. But I want to go to the Temple of Ava. We meant to do that before. Kind of got sidetracked.
Okay, you guys only have about a half hour. If you're gonna do a quest or something and actually get some combat in, you got to start doing it. If you want to go do some more role playing, we can, but it's very unlikely there'll be any combat today.
let's go to the forge. I start. I grab my.
It sounds like May, and we can't vote because May gets 2 votes with Rim. That's not fair. But
No, I mean,
May and Blanford want to do 2
training,
different
but-
things. So I mean,
No, I'm asking. Well, Fjorn. What? Fjorn,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Fjorn kind of more or less, unless he has a third thing you'd like to do.
Well, Fjorn is
I
kind
know.
of when it comes to like going and as late as it is now, the fighting. I soon wait till Oris gets back because if we're in the middle of something and he comes back, then
Yeah, that's part of it too.
All right, let's just investigate and try and find more
Have you
stuff
guys been
popping up.
thinking that since like an hour, like 3 hours ago? Because I feel like you guys are just avoiding which is fine.
We're gonna investigate the grayscale.
I just feel
condition,
bad
all right?
because there's like a lot of rewards that people have been champing at the bit for me to give them, and I can't just give them to you for. I mean, maybe I could. I could just say,
What's
"Hey,
okay?
you're this."
gonna
Technically, it's
invest-
milestone. I can give you level ups just for role playing well.
We're going to investigate the. We're going to investigate the grayskin condition some more.
So okay. Oh, you want
How
to
about
go? So no. I mean, I don't mind doing a lot more role play and stuff. I don't, and it's not. I haven't been involved for sure. It's just like most of it was role play, and then by the end of it,
I'm just gonna close the monster manual.
I don't want to do anything crazy and get stuck in combat without Oris, obviously. And then also, if we're like in the Shadowfell when he comes back, that would kind of suck. But
That's the reason I'm trying to kind of nudge you away from that one, because I'm like, I know that you guys will be in the Shadowfell for a while, and it's going to be very hard for me to give you back Oris if you're in the Shadowfell. So I mean,
I'm going to.
after talking to people in Academy, we kind of found out how urgent getting rid of this mage welt thing is to us. So
just so that you can warn them that the military is coming.
that and several other, we're a danger to other people. They don't want to help us now because
For free. No one else was offering to help you for free.
So I'm going to-
Clementine's the only one that's seen you as an opportunity beyond. In all fairness, she was planning to get something out of it anyways, so who knows? Maybe Ava will go lighter on her?
right.
I'm going to.
Hard to say. Gods are fickle. Like DMs.
I'm going to walk. I'm going to go to the temple and ask what would be required for me to.
I just want to make sure you guys are walking back to the temple. Like, the day is ticking away every time you go somewhere, so I mean...
I'm going to go to the temple and ask how much it costs to get rid of the main 12 status.
Okay, and you all agree to go with Blanford to do
I'm going to
this?
try to separate. I'm going to try and separate from them to see if I can get away and do this alone.
Is that what
No.
everyone agrees on?
Not for that reason, but I wanted to go to the temple also.
yeah, okay. I'm okay with that too.
Okay,
Okay.
so you guys travel to the temple. So you had to travel out of town to go see the Black Fang. Now you're traveling back to the temple again. It's sometime now past noon into the afternoon. You travel to the Temple of Ava. It's a large, illustrious building. It has, gold and ornate metalwork, as well as tapestries depicting and stained glass depicting Ava and the belief system that they have and the things that they worship. As you enter it, there are priests working the area. There's like a worshiping area in the center, but then there's like small like cloistered rooms that the priests go around to do their assorted things. For example, May remembers one of them what she was taken to for the decursing that she had the previous day. And you're able to speak with the priest. Will just stop and speak with you. Yes, what would you like?
I would like to know if it's possible to have a curse or awful status removed. We were given evil orders, and we could not, in good conscience, follow them. We'd like to have this. Somehow, we wound up with this status that we did not know existed applied to us, and we don't know how much it would cost to get the term main 12 not applied to us.
He does not look happy as soon as you mention that.
We were told we were ordered to massacre a village of civilians, and we refused to do that. And suddenly we've got this status, and as a result, we've got to deal with this.
So he stops speaking to you immediately. Like he just stops. He doesn't answer immediately. His mouth goes like stitched shut, and then he raises it. Takes his hands out of his robes and he puts his hand out and he says, 1 silver.
Very well. I hand him a silver.
Thank you. What do you need to know, Mangewell?
What I need to know is what do I need? What are the actions? What actions or what? What is required to remove this? What can you do to remove this? Is there a ritual? Are there actions that can be performed? Is there a series?
Attrition. You wish to know?
Correct. What can I do? Do I have to pay? Do I have to pay 30 pieces of platinum to the temple and it's all gone? Do I have to do a series of actions for the temple?
Certainly, yes.
What do I have to do?
You could present yourself to the temple as one of our priests and pay penitence for 10 years. Should clear your name.
What are the other options?
Have you martial ability? You could find
I
a
do.
diviner. You could earn your honor that way.
Okay.
I think I lost the voice I originally wanted to do with this place, but that's okay.
Okay. Fighting a diviner, I think I can manage that fairly well. Are there any other options, though? I thought it was going to be a fairly straightforward thing of paying Steve fine, but okay.
If you don't want to do the 10 years, self-sacrifice could help you.
Could you clarify that? Because I have a thing in mind, and I don't know if that is the same thing you have in mind.
You could take your own life in Ava's name.
Interesting. That is precisely what I had in mind. Okay. And those are the only options.
What were you looking for?
So, I guess I'll talk to a different priest. I don't want to interrupt the conversation. But I just wanted to speak with a priest and, or I guess I don't know if it's like clear how I can. I just basically just want.
Sorry?
I just wanted to pray, basically, just like. I don't know if there's like a praying area.
Yeah,
or
the center area, like I said, is where people come to pray. It's not, pews like a church. It's more like there's just like it's more like mats. It's more like
okay.
I'm gonna say it as a real world thing, but I don't want to tie these two religions together. But it's more like the Islamic religion, where you would go to a mosque and there would just be like a mat, and you would lay and you would just kind of prostrate and kind of that.
Right. They bow towards a certain direction or whatever, but in here it's just.
Yeah, exactly. In this situation, there doesn't appear to be I mean, they're all facing the same way, but as far as you know, that's not actually.
They're all bowing in different directions. Like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, there's just like mats, like assorted directions, and it makes like a pattern. And two people like you go to bow, and your head just goes like into the butt of another guy, and then.
Okay, well, she's going to do that. I mean, I guess she'll.
Yeah, there are some people praying here, so you can just mimic them.
Yeah, I guess she'll do that. She'll look at the other ones, and then she'll just gonna pray. And I don't know if you want me to say what she's saying, but.
Well, the first thing I'd like you to do is roll a performance to see how good of a.
Oh, okay.
Well, to see how well you mimic the other people praying. If you do a really poor job, it could be seen as offensive, and if you do a reasonably good job, then people will.
Just when you go to a religious place, find the most respectable looking pious lady of the church and copy.
A seven's not, or a
Can I
9
roll
isn't bad. A 9's not
Or
bad.
is religion off the table?
I mean, that would have given you knowledge in how to do the things, but how you actually perform the praying functions and follow what you're... Like, you know, you're not offending anyone with a 9. It's not the best. Some people can also tell that you're tired, and they're kind of forgiving about that, but...
And they can tell that you're probably not... You're probably a yokel from it who wasn't taught well, so they're probably a little forgiving about that, too.
Well, I guess I'm not an Ava elf too, so I wasn't sure if that was going to be a problem.
So, if you're done talking to him, Blanford, he's going to go around and quickly mention the rest of you to the rest of the clergy, so that they're aware that you guys are mange whelps. They don't throw you out or anything. They just need to know so that they can tithe you before helping you.
I will. I don't know. Again, I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do for the prayer. If I need to...
Sure. You just wanted to say some words, which is fine. You can pray to Ava.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I hadn't prep a prayer or something. I just wanted to pray for understanding, and then kind of mention that I'm not really that religious, and I've only recently heard of Ava, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you'd known that religions existed, but because your village was non-denominational.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know about Ava specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Yeah, I just wanted to. I'll just say, I don't really know how to do this. I don't know how to pray, Ava, and I don't know if you're even listening, but I understand that in some way or another, the actions we have done have offended you, and for one, I just hope that we can prove you wrong, because what we have done, I do not believe is truly dishonorable. But I wish and I pray and I ask of you to
become a diviner.
To help us and allow us to be whatever this mange whelp status is, and I pray that we will be able to warn the people, your people, of the coming war, because I do not want any more innocent bloodshed, and I do not want any more innocents to be enslaved. Amen, I guess. I don't know if that's how we end your prayers, but that's what you do.
You seem to see there's like a gesture that is done before the praying, and then there's a gesture afterwards. It's not the sign of the cross, but it is a religious gesture. They do a religious gesture, and you do your best to mimic it before you start praying, and then you do your best to finish with it. It's not perfect. It's definitely has some mistakes, but it's not like you accidentally flip them the bird. So people are accepting of what you've done, and one of a female, not that it matters, but a female priest comes up and says, "Thank you for your prayers, my child."
Now go.
I just I nod to her, and then I don't know, for Fjorn, were you gonna do?
Fjorn's this is all. He's used to seeing sacrificial altars, and
yeah, his religion is not
so
he's not like this.
He's hiding in the corner, kind of.
How many animals do I have to sacrifice to get Ava off my back?
Yeah, there may be a number. There may be.
I would actually be totally on board with going that route.
You should ask to see if there's something you can sacrifice.
Yes, I would
No, I'm actually saying Fjorn, because that's how his religion works.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that path. How many owlbears do we have to kill to get Ava off her back?
Do you want to speak to one of the priests, or are you going to just
Sure, I'll do that. I'll go up to a priest
and ask about it being your friend, not you.
I'll be kind of
hello, sir.
Acting weird about it. Say, I don't suppose there's a way to sacrifice something to get rid of this mage whelp status?
He tight lips and he takes his hand out of his robe and he says, 1 silver.
Okay, so I gave him a silver.
Spit on his hand. I'm just kidding.
you just take your battle axe out and cut him down.
Who's next?
Is this enough of a sacrifice?
Ava, I'm spilling blood in your name.
He looks you over for a moment and he says, Ava is not your god, is it?
No.
Sacrifices, you say. Who do you worship?
Yeah, she's kind of being rude because, like, we don't even worship her, and she's still cursing us.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, come on.
My god is Mask.
Well, the thing is, anywhere else, if you went back to the Goldmane Empire, you're not mage whelps. It's strictly like a thing about this culture and this religion, right? Like, it's just living here and Ava's, I guess, watchful gaze. You're not entirely sure what gives you the stench that the diviner feels that makes you a mage whelp, but it could just be the eyes of Ava. It could be a diviner has to witness you doing it. You don't know. You're not really sure exactly, but for some reason they can just tell, which you've learned the hard way.
I'm going to say to the priest, I'm just kind of confused. We're here to help the Ava elves, trying to warn them about war, and yet Ava still chooses to have us cursed. It's just confusing.
War, you say? Who was it you worship? Do you need me to DM to remind you?
Yeah, I forgot the name.
I was like, you didn't say it, so did you just forget? Your god is Irgard. 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 Not an ear. Like Urgard or Irgard. Yeah,
God of the ears.
Yes, I worship the things on either side of your head. Oh, Irgard. Honorable people, I'm sure. You must be from the Cold Lands?
Yep, Cold Lands.
We don't worship sacrifice in the beliefs of Ava, but I don't know if it will help you. It might make you feel better.
It absolutely would make me feel better.
Well, I mean...
What if we sacrificed another mage whelp?
Is Oris coming back to something?
We all are like waiting for Oris to just throw
Yeah, you're back! We can bleed you now! Excellent! Yeah! I mean, it probably would help.
Wait, really?
Ooh.
Slaughtering mage whelps? I don't recommend murder, but... if they're mage whelps, maybe it will help your case. Both to Irgard and to Ava.
When we sacrificed, we didn't consider it murder.
You sacrificed other humans. Sorry, they wouldn't say humans. They would say whatever word I can't think of that represents all peoples.
Sapiens.
Try not to laugh. But yes, we whenever we would raid, a lot of our prisoners of war would become sacrificial.
We don't. That's not part of our beliefs, but.
Okay.
It wasn't a daily thing. It was more of a dire need.
I understand.
We needed to win a battle, or our crops. We needed a good crop year. We would sacrifice.
I see.
And this seems like to me, this seems like a dire thing. So, in our culture, this would probably be one of those
time to sacrifice your slaves. Yeah. Do you have people? Do you have those that would be willing to be the sacrifice? I can't give you people, if that's what you're asking. There are none here that are willing to die for your god.
Interesting.
They don't have to be always willing, but we could find people that may be causing trouble around town.
Are you busier now? A little bit. Yeah.
We don't have much crime here in Eloane.
Well, so like, actually, we're almost done technically. What's that?
You could look to become some kind of executioner. I don't know of these things. Maybe the royalty would hire you.
Okay. A lot of fun though. Yeah.
If you're looking for work, I'm sure there are those that need you to... Well, I would be surprised if none of you has been approached. How long have you been in town? I've seen your friend here yesterday.
Just a day or two.
Oh, yeah. And you haven't found anyone asking to
May's
offer these
butt
things?
is a little bit too high in the air. She's like bowing like the rest of them. But you're like, what position is she?
Yeah. No, it's a prayer, not downward dog. What are you doing?
She's like doing yoga on the floor.
Yeah, she's getting a real good stretch.
And everyone's looking at her like,
She's like, oh,
wow.
so Ava's really into like, you know, being like very flexible. That makes sense.
So I go back to the other
Very
two
flexible.
and ask them. I'm
Very
like,
flexible
are either
work
of you
ethic,
two,
too.
are either of you two willing to sacrifice yourselves?
I suppose if it means that the rest of you know die, but that's why I'm trying to say I could do it for Oris. I don't really care.
Is that why Rim is in the party? Oh dear God.
No,
Actually, my whole reason for being in this group was to protect you people.
what?
Remember, my job when I was sent from the war camp was to keep you people safe.
That was the DM's hand wave, yeah, when you showed up.
I mean,
And I can't do that right
you're
now
dead.
if I'm alive.
You're
Because-
still
You
following.
can't do that if you're alive. You can't protect them if you're alive.
Oh, we got one.
Because I've screwed up badly in
I
this
guess
town.
Ozzy's gonna give himself up.
And if the best way for you to go forward is for me to die, then
Just so we're aware, sacrificing yourself to Irgard will not appease Ava, but it might appease Fjorn's god. It might make him feel better.
Maybe Eargard will beat up
I
Ava.
don't understand
Maybe.
this.
You don't know.
I mean, this was a miscommunication that I don't understand.
They do have different honor systems, so I mean, clearly they wouldn't get along if they had to fight.
I fully misunderstand what's going on here. This is what I'm saying.
All right.
You did just ask us if we were willing to sacrifice ourselves, so you didn't have to give us much more explanation.
And this is what I'm saying because I fully misunderstand what's going on.
So we're going to kill Zazaford?
I think that's what is going to happen. Is that you two need to kill me in order to not be main troll.
With us just sacrificing a human?
Didn't he just say it might work if we killed other mage whelps?
Like, we just kill one of them, or it's like one per each of us, because that's not going to really help.
Well, the other one, he has to kill Oris, of course. It's that simple.
We're not going to go kill Oris. We're not
The
gonna
only
kill
way to
him.
know will be to kill one and then ask a diviner.
That seems like an idiotic decision.
If you are going to do that, I ask you leave the city limits first.
Oh, we can't just slaughter a person inside of the temple?
I ask you don't.
Maybe
Sorry. So sorry. As soon as May starts asking questions, he takes his hands out of the robe and puts his hand out and says 1 silver.
Oh, yeah, I was just talking to the other guy.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But yeah, if you guys want to, if each of you wants to ask questions, they have to keep asking for tithes.
So we really need to.
And the fact that this is what we came out with is that I willingly offer to be killed by him in order to the other god, Eargard, in order to appease Ava. They're just looking at this going, how did they come out with this?
Yeah, I don't think that we should do that. It doesn't make sense.
I will-
Just so you guys
I
are
will keep you
aware,
rolling.
mage whelps aren't like being hunted. Like, there aren't like a bunch of... you don't suddenly have to worry that other mage whelps are coming to kill you to get their honor back.
It's like a whole underworld.
Yeah, where they're all like... They just have like a Hunger Games, and whoever lives like is no longer a mange whelp.
If you kill 10 mange whelps, you shall become again.
So there won't be a sacrifice.
I mean, that would have been
But-
a cool lore tidbit. I could have added that, and then there'd been headhunters after you guys. That would have been cool, but no, we're not doing that.
Trying to gain honor.
There won't be a sacrifice, but his willingness is. I'll remember Blandford's willingness for future reference.
So you respect him more.
Uh,
That's cool. Yeah.
But you never know where we travel.
we might need to sacrifice somebody.
Yeah, maybe. It might come up.
Get close to my homeland.
So obviously we're almost out of time anyways, but I suppose maybe we know somehow that Horus is almost back. I suppose if
Do you want to go
Horus
roll some dice?
I don't know. I was just meaning like I wanted to wait for Horus, but
I was thinking you were going to do a long rest, so then you should go roll some dice first. No, you're not doing a long rest?
No. I don't know when Horus is supposed to come back. I sort of meta, but I wanted.
would like to,
Neither does the DM. I
Make
thought he
a
was
decision.
back today, but no.
I know. I just don't want to make a decision until Horus is back, since he probably will be back next week. But obviously, without metagaming, it's more like a.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
don't know. You're not sure. He's still off training. You don't know what's going to happen with him.
let's this is troublesome. I don't like any of those options at all.
Okay.
We should just do the Noble's quest, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good because that's give us more. Give us more.
I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree. I want to do the forge. It's the most straightforward one.
Let's just say there's cool rewards for both. There's just cool rewards for all the quests. You just have to do them.
It's more of a in-game reason.
So when you go, oh, there's Craggle Forge, you don't get anything. Well, the DM would
No.
give you nothing.
The Crackle Forge gives us more honor for the city, which is the currency we need.
That's not necessarily true. We don't know anything about the Crackle Forge. That's the whole point.
Clementine said that if we solve that, which is will give us more
Because
regard,
you're doing it for free, yeah.
correct, we'll get more regard from the city. That is the currency we currently need.
Right, but again, that's something that could take a long time, and it could be an absolute waste. And also, with the Noble, we are getting paid so we can help this poor woman that we have influence on accident. I think that, like, the Noble one solves more than one problem. But again, that's why I think we should wait and see if Horus perhaps...
Yeah, what do you want to do for the last... I'll give you guys like 5 more
I
minutes.
guess
What do you want to
maybe
do for
we
the...
can
Actually,
go on.
technically I can go late because my family disappeared, but I'm not going to do that because you guys probably have stuff to do as well.
I'm fine right now.
Does anybody want to acquire? If we're going to go into the, or let's do the noble thing. Does anyone need to acquire provisions?
Yeah, it's going to be a reasonable journey, so I'm going to say you guys go back to the inn then. If you're planning to do quests and whatnot, you're going to have to go back to the inn and Greasy Goblin and speak with Clementine.
Yeah, let's go to the.
So you do that, and you find Clementine, and she's gonna tell you that Dapper Dan will only do that quest, that job, at the beginning of a day because it's a lengthy one. You'll have to travel, then travel back. Assuming everything goes smoothly, it's going to probably take up a full day, and he doesn't want to be stuck in the Shadowfell at night because you guys have not really done the Shadowfell at night either. As a DM, I'm not even sure how much worse it would be, but it's got to be worse. Night's always worse.
I would like to. Before we go to bed, I'd like to last minute shop of provisions.
Well, you got plenty of time. It's not even the evening yet.
I'd like to make sure that we all go and collect provisions for
I'll buy some food kind of thing. Just get rations if I can.
Rations.
Sure, yeah. You want like a few days rations? I forget. I think they're a gold piece each. It's actually kind of expensive for rations.
But I think it's 5 silver, isn't it?
Yeah, it was 5 silver.
5 silver. Yes, you're right.
They charged me.
Well, I was just thinking because if we do the ration, because I can carry a bunch, so if we just get like 30 days of rations or something like that?
I'm gonna
Sure.
buy.
15 gold.
I'm gonna do the same.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy another 10 days.
Yeah, the best part about the rations is that they won't spoil. You can keep them forever.
I'm
I'll
gonna
just-
buy another 10 days worth of.
Sure.
Another 20 days worth.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
another.
I'll split the ones that May's buying.
Okay, I'll pay
Look.
8 if you want to pay 7.
Yeah.
What gold? How much do I need for 20 days worth of rations?
You can just do the math. It's 5 silver per ration. You can just add the rations to your inventory and take out the appropriate costing. No deals today. Also, they don't know your mage whelp, so they're just gonna they're not gonna give you any trouble. Although they probably wouldn't, because you're just being a customer, which is loud within the religion.
We will give them to you for free. Well, we didn't expect you to.
Haha, no free stuff. Oh, we never were gonna give you free stuff, but nah, for sure now. Yeah, that's why it's not that big of a deal. You got that you're mage whelps. The benefit, as Black Fang explained originally, was if you defeat him, you also get the positive title, which will have the opposite effect on everybody.
What the hell? What? Why can't I carry?
20 rations? I don't know.
No, it says like it says I can only carry 30. Oh, here we go. I mean, I can only buy 10 at a time, and I can't buy any more than that. But if I go into 30,
Just
so.
go into your inventory. Oh boy, I'm over carrying capacity at this point.
Well, I've got a bag of holding.
Yeah, you guys have the bag of holding. You guys should never have to worry about encumbrance. You just put stuff in there.
I'm going to put 20. I just bought. So I'm going to put got 30.
Just pick the heaviest thing that you're carrying. Like, it's probably something else. It's probably like a shovel or something.
I have 30 days worth of rations. That I'd like to put into the bag of
30
holding.
30 days of rations. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm going to move all of those into the bag of holding.
Yeah, you can just say you don't have the... You don't really have to worry about encumbrance. You can just turn encumbrance off, and I'll let you know if you do anything crazy.
I like encumbrance.
Well, sure. Well, like, I mean, I was just going to be like, if you try to carry a whole bunch of stuff... Like, honestly, if you didn't have the bag of holding and you said I was going to buy 30 rations, then I would be like, well, then encumbrance is going to come in. But you have the bag of holding, so, I mean, you're just going to put it in there.
It's weird that I can't... It seems like it'd be a very simple thing for them to add. I can't, whenever I increase the amount of weight I can carry. It's kind of weird.
You want to increase the weight because of the bag of holding?
No, create a character called bag of holding.
No, I just mean because it's like, I had... For some reason, just had it. I knew that I had it. But I didn't, but when I added it, I was like increase when it, the encumbrance thing or anything. Which is kind of odd.
You just if you need to hold stuff and you're worried about encumbrance, you just let Fjorn hold it. He can hold probably like twice as much poundage as everybody else.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm not encumbered or anything.
Every one of you has 8 strength except for Fjorn.
We are a bunch of weak things.
So no, we don't really. I still have a carrying capacity of like 120 pounds.
I kind of have a thought before we.
Yeah.
My criminal contact. Do I have a criminal contact in every where we're at now?
I guess the assumption would be that the criminal network has to extend to I'm gonna say you don't have a direct criminal contact, but you are good. You know streetwise and how to possibly get yourself one. The only problem you might have with that is there may not actually be criminal contacts in this city. It's a tough one because I've kind of made it that the city just has almost zero crime, but it's not zero, so it might just be difficult and require you some time to reestablish that criminal contact. Whereas everybody else would have a real tough time. You are going to have an easier time, but it's still going to be difficult given that there just really isn't a criminal element here.
Okay.
Maybe you can message me what your long-term plans with that is, and I can see what I can do for you.
I guess I forgot about this, but I wanted to see, since we have probably extra time before the end of the day, and I have also only sleep for 4 hours. I wanted to add that spell to my thing.
Oh yeah, sure, you can do that. Do you guys want a little downtime? I can give you guys a little bit of downtime. That's fine. You can spend it doing that. We got our bard. He goes out and he plays at the. Well, he plays at the Greasy Goblin. He does not try to get back into the Grand Arbiter. He would probably be escorted out, especially now that the word of Maned Whelp is being spread throughout the city. Then the nobility are especially against Mange Whelps. So
I'm going to roll performance.
yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll performance. And I'm going to say, Fiorin, you probably put yourself in the academy for a bit, and they'll still allow you to train them for a little bit. You can just roll like a general athletic. You can just roll athletics instead of performance if you want, Fiorin.
You see that?
Just for fun. I don't. I don't see what you rolled. Oh. And then
That was a 22.
a 22. Okay. And then May, yeah, you can spend some time in the library. I'm gonna let you kind of look around a little bit as well. So I'm not sure how long it takes you to record a spell. I think it's just dependent on the level of the spell.
Yeah, I wrote it down before. It was 6 hours, and I spent the money for it with the quill.
Right, so you got minus... I guess, actually, if it's 6 hours, yeah, you're not going to have time to explore the library. I was going to give you some of the contents of the library, but...
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's only... Technically, since I only have to sleep for 4 hours, it's only going to be, like, 2 hours of like, if we're doing the 8 hours of sleeping for them.
Yeah, are you allowed to do... Like, what's allowed during the rest of your long rest? It won't be you can just do whatever you want, is it?
I mean, it literally just, I just have to transfer 4 hours, and the rest of the time is whatever. But what I'm meaning is I'll just do the spell copying at that time, so it's just light activity anyways. But earlier in the day, I can go to the library. I don't know. I don't really care that much. It's how...
Sure. I'm going to say you have to do it that way just because the library probably isn't open into the evening.
Okay.
I haven't decided. Maybe they are open 24/7. And, whatever. But
I've never copied a spell. Just take longer to do it or whatever. It's fine.
I just wanted to, take a... I think you're 100% right about trancing, though. And I think they might have needed to word that better.
Oh, yeah. No, that
seems kind of busted to me. But, I mean, it's not. It's just because of the way we're running things.
It's really just great usually for... I mean, it's better for venturing multiple... You can watch for longer.
Yeah, you gain the same benefit as someone who slept for 8 hours. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you definitely have time. So I'll give you a little a little piece of the what you find in the restricted section.
Oh yeah, I mean I was kind of joking about that in the chat or whatever, but
Or do you want to research a particular topic?
I mean, I don't know how long I have to spell. I guess I could do that. Or
how about here? Give me. This is how I'm going to do it.
I guess I could look up just a thing.
Can you give me? I didn't actually. It just says a DC whatever check. I didn't actually say what it is. I guess Arcana makes sense for any book reading, so I'll just say, give me
If it's not magical, I can just do like.
It's not magic. You're just searching the library. Oh, I guess it'd be investigation. Yeah, that makes sense. You're searching. So give me an investigation.
Oh, you know
check.
What? Maybe I should rest before this.
Just it's fine. You're still gonna find something regardless. It's just gonna affect what you find.
I know, but I have to keep having to roll with freaking disadvantage.
Yeah, it'll be the last time, unless you guys want to roll some dice.
11.
Okay, so you searched for a while. You know what? I want to kind of progress this, so I'm gonna give you 2 books of interest that you found. One, you were. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this one right. No, I'm gonna give you this one. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, so first you spent some time, and then actually this was all done in the restricted section. So while you were looking through the restricted section, you found an interesting book. That speaks about different strange oddities and diseases. And you find a little bit of information on the Grey Folk. In addition to that, and I'll come back to the information you get about the Grey Folk, you also find a magical book. It's probably a spell book. which has some spells in it that you might be able to record, but it is magically locked. And you look at the book, it doesn't have a title on it, just has a key symbol on it on the front page. And when you try to open the book, you can't actually get it open. So your understanding is that you can possibly come back with the ability to unlock that in the future. Because...
Can I try something?
Sure.
Or maybe I should do a check over it. I was like, can I cast like Dispel Magic on it, or can I try at least?
Yeah, you can try.
I was
Okay.
going to suggest knock, but okay.
Yeah, I was going to suggest...
I don't think I have Knock, obviously, otherwise I would have gone with that. I have Arcane Lock, because that's Abjuration, but Knock is...
Does Arcane Lock say that a Dispel Magic spell would take it off?
well, yeah, it's a second level spell. Knock just suppresses it. So if it's Arcane Lock, casting Knock suppresses Arcane Lock for 10 minutes, but it's a second level spell, so if you cast, it says until dispelled on the duration. So yeah, Dispel Magic would... If that's what it is. I don't know if that's what it is, though.
Okay.
I'll cast Dispel Magic on it.
Sure, yeah, you can cast Dispel Magic on this book. I was really hoping to make you do like a little quest line here where you had to learn Knock first and then come back.
Oh, I was already going to take that and like...
I'll be honest, if you were to... I was going to have you find the Knock spell a different day, and then you were going to come back, and it was going to be like a cool like loop around, but that's fine.
I mean, I'm still down to learn that spell without having to take it as a level, but...
Yeah, well, we're going to just use the Spell Magic here and blow right past Knock, I suppose. You found the cheat codes, my friend.
Awesome.
So the lock, it glows for a second, and then it shatters and breaks off, and you're able to open the book, and you find that it is...
The first spell's Knock.
Yeah, catch-22, right? You got to learn the spells inside to unlock the spells inside. You find it's an old necromancer's spell book, and of the spells inside, the only ones that aren't damaged that you can fully read and understand are the following spells: False Life, Blindness, Deafness, and Animate Dead.
Animate.
Which I believe are all spells you don't know yet, and could be wizard spells. So you cannot take this book out of the building. You need to leave the book here, and then if you want to record these spells, you're going to have to come back and spend the however many hours recording from the locked book into your own.
Okay. What was the second one?
False Life, Blindness, Deafness, Animate Dead.
Oh. Blindness, Deafness.
Blindness deafness is a trap.
No, it's not. You just have to use it properly.
How dare you trap things. And
No,
the other thing you learned about...
The correct spell is Phantasmal Force. You put a bag over their heads.
Also, Fjorn is going to receive 10 gold pieces for his work, 5 gold pieces for his work, and Blanford's going to be tipped 10 whole pieces, which is actually quite a bit considering the Greasy Goblin is a lower standard. But he actually rolled insane, so people had some of the best music of their life there.
I did a Queen performance.
Yeah, you did really well. Someone said "Free Bird," and then you played it twice. But the book about the Grey Folk, this might be interesting. Right before we leave, it'll give you a little hint as to what's going on. You read through this book, and it has a lot of information that is just like stuff not related to the Grey Folk or anything like that. But there is a small excerpt about the Grey Folk, which you find interesting. That it's about... Okay, so first I should precursor this by saying that the book itself is about superstitions and myths and fairy tales. So you don't know how much of this you can take at face value. Some of the other stuff said, like, use garlic on werewolves, and you're like, that doesn't seem right. And, like, you're reading, some other stuff. But it does specifically mention people turning gray, and it says specifically that they don't know much about it. It's a mysterious thing, but they know that it spreads through empathy, that feeling sorry for the person with gray skin infects you, and that is how the disease spreads. But if you're apathetic about it and you don't care, then you won't contract it. That's what you read out of the book. Take from it what you will. You can't roll insight on a book, so you don't know how much of this information is believable, but I did want to leave you with a little tidbit that you can research and get more information about the Grey Folk by doing checks in the library.
I didn't realize you were talking to me. So the very beginning I missed. I got the rest of it. Sorry. So they do contract it by being scared of it.
Empathy, by feeling sorry for the person. That's what makes you also contract it yourself. How that works or why it works, you would need more information on that. And in fact, if you went to the Temple of Saloon with that, or the Shrine of Saloon with that information, it would not be enough. They would be like, "What? I don't. This is a book of fairy tales. I don't care." But it is a little bit of a hint. So the big hint here is that you can get information about that disease from the library. That's the biggest hint. Not so much maybe the empathy thing.
Oh, I'm going to have to go shortly, but
yeah, I'm about to end it as well. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna just call it quits here. If
that
that's
actually
okay.
gives me a lot to work with.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that last bit out. Okay, so anybody watching, I'm just gonna do the quick goodbyes and then anybody who's watching, I had a really good time. I hope you guys had a good time watching. We'll be playing again next Sunday, as well as the other party plays on Wednesday evenings. So keep track of both sides of the Meridian Falls campaign, and there will be some interactions between them, hopefully in the near future, because they both have a magical coin that's related to a sister or a family member of some sort with the same last name. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, I'm going to count to 3, and everybody can say their goodbyes. 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Awesome. All right.
Hopefully, Horace is back next week.
Yeah, I really do hope that we have the full party. It'll be good. I feel like we're missing a piece of our puzzle. It just doesn't.
I think that that little kid who doesn't care about his parents is going to be a part of this puzzle. He doesn't have it when his parents do. That means that he is a sociopath. We're gonna have to find something out about that.
Could be. Okay.
Okay, all of